having to deal with people's feet.
Welcome to Talk of the Tavern. A little about us. We're your at-home interactive weekly geek con, all blended with wit, sarcasm, and a pub-like atmosphere. We're adults talking about adult topics and using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings hurt easily. This is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk of the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk of the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk of the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk of the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to June 14th, Thursday's episode of Talk of the Tavern. Guess it's a bit of a VIP. Let me start introductions with the beautiful, lovely, and what else did you tell me to say? Andrea.
Oh, I thought you were talking about them.
I will soon.
Yeah.
What's your vices today?
Today is coffee, of course. I left my water in the kitchen.
Ew, no.
But I have tea. I have cigars, which will happen later.
Very good.
So.
And then speaking
of
of beauty, but not intelligence, or maybe it's the other way around, we also have Richard Knowles, also known as Paddington. Oh, right.
Afternoon, people. I'm Richard Knowles, also known as Paddington Alwych, and my vice of choice today is pickle juice.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of pickle juice?
Dill pickle juice. It's good for you.
What brand?
I do not know. I have it in my huge coffee mug.
Well, it makes a big difference between Vlasic and Clausen, because I feel that refrigerated pickles always have a better flavor, including the pickle juice.
Yeah, much fresh.
But you put it in a coffee mug?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to drink it straight out the jar.
So with coffee, is it like creamer for you? You're like, pass me the pickle, I want a squeeze of cream.
Ew. Wrong type of pickle?
No, you drink it raw. You drink it neat.
Drink it neat. Nice.
Drink it neat.
Okay.
It's supposed to be good for you.
Then the opposite of the intelligence beauty thing that I referred to earlier, we also have Daniel Carter of itswood.com. What's up?
Itswood.com, podcasting show about all things woodworking. Plug, done. And welcome, guys. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm a big time gamer, so if Dungeons and Dragons comes up, it's only because I've been playing 41 years.
What's your vices?
My vices today are Arrogant Bastard Ale from Stone Brewery.
Nice.
Yeah, we like our microbrews up here, or our craft beer up here in Oregon.
Very good. And I am Travis Sivart. I am the host. I am having a La Gloriana Cubana Series R Black. And then I am also having a decorated Pepsi in my gaming nerd glass. It's a pint glass, and you get plus 10 wisdom
What do you have?
when you drink. Me?
I have plus 10 charisma.
Yeah, you do.
Ooh.
And then let's do an opening toast here. Here's to a pretty shit day getting better. You got that? Better, guys. Damn it.
Better.
Clink.
Burpy. This is why I don't like ice in my drinks. Does ice make you slurp when you don't have a straw?
Yes. It does.
Yeah.
I put my lip out because I don't want it up against my teeth.
Ooh. And what it also does, it makes it run out the side and run into the mustache.
It does.
So you end with it running
I
down
know,
the
I hate when that happens.
mustache. Yeah,
No, see,
well, I see. That's the only reason you shave yours, Andrea.
True story.
Maybe.
I think the best part is when the ice sticks to the bottom and you tip it and then it comes down. Yeah,
and it all goes up your nose and everywhere.
It's a face shot.
Or if you're at home using a coaster and you pick it up not realizing the coaster held on for half the trip and then clutters to the floor with a loud bang.
Absolutely.
Damn you,
You get an
ice.
ice bukkake.
Yep.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Sure it is.
Gee, I
Ice
hope it's
is the
frozen water this
root
time.
of all evil.
Mm.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
I know I gotta save some of that. I'm gonna run out before the end of the show. I'll drink water instead. So
Yeah,
let's
you
see
will.
here. How'd everybody's week go? Anybody have anything exciting happen this week?
What?
What?
I got to go fishing.
Did
We
you?
took our
I'm
dog
happy.
swimming.
I did.
Did they record it
Except
for
my-
you and put it on TV?
No, because it would have taken a lot of editing. Because I caught 3 fish.
You
So
didn't have to bring
No.
your own fish to hook up?
no, I did not. I did not fake it.
For the viewers in the pre-show, as we were doing our setup, we were talking about fishing shows and the wonder of them for our young British friend here who is like, they have what?
Yeah.
Yep. No, it was good because I got to get out. Yesterday was my mom's birthday. She would have been 76 today. And thinking about her kind of brings me down a little bit. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go do something I'd love to do. So I didn't want to go out in my wood shop. Second best choice, fishing.
There you go.
Big question.
Here's to
Did
those
you
that
catch
love them.
anything?
Well, let me toast his mom real quick. Here's to the mothers that you still love and the people that love them.
Here's some others.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, man. There's a reason I had the other stuff in. Toey, you fished in a video
Toey.
game yesterday. It's like you were right next.
I
to
like her
Daniel.
fishing video games. They're great.
I was playing fishing video game in VR the other day.
Which one?
Oh, what's it called? I just got it. I don't remember. No,
Fishing?
I'm sorry. I don't remember. I could look it up if it
Way to
was-
plug it.
Well, they're not a sponsor, so to hell with it.
To hell
Not
with it.
Rick
now.
was asking
Yeah.
if you caught anything while you were fishing yesterday.
I caught 3 trout, 9, 10, and 11 inches.
Depending on how
Wow.
much you rubbed him.
Oh, God.
So like 3 inches.
Yeah, about 3 inches.
Not
well,
like this, yeah.
they'll get bigger tomorrow. It's every day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Were you fly fishing then?
I was not. I was just sitting on a bank throwing out power bait, fake fish food.
Fake fish food.
But I do fly fish. It is another passion of mine.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second, gentlemen. Real quick shout out to Black Whiplash. Thank you for joining us. And
Hey.
yeah, if we're smart, by the time we get to the retirement home age, one of us will have earned enough money to have it. And
Pay
by
for the
way,
others.
You little whippersnapper. The fuck? Our generation invented the goddamn computer. Actually, our parents did. Because in the 60s. But the personal computer was our generation, so... You can't hear me at all? I don't know what you...
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, I like they were both pointing at their ears, so I thought, like, did my mic go out?
Me.
No, pointing at myself.
It's like,
Computer
oh.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we invented this shit. We designed the video games. Well, actually, the 22-year-olds are taking over that now. We're kind of getting kicked out of it.
Yeah, kids.
But good to see
Well,
you,
they're
Whiplash.
designing better video games.
Well, they're improving on the shit we made in the first wheel. They like put spokes in the wheel.
Does anybody remember Max Headroom?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Matt
What?
Fuhrer, love it.
Black Whiplash said,
Matt Fuhrer.
That was the actor.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Black Whiplash says, it's the Army's birthday today. We had a division run with like 3,000 people, 5 miles. It was super hooah. That sounds like a high-speed group hug in action.
Wow.
That's
That's
awesome.
a lot
That's
of
awesome.
people running.
You can Military guy, Army. So I'm there with you.
Awesome.
Sweating.
Did you run? Are you going to run? I don't
Me?
No.
No.
He's not that with you.
No.
know. Well,
No. In
That's
heart.
how it goes.
In heart. In spirit. How's that?
I'm sure
He's
it
not
was.
going to run. He went in as an officer.
That's true. He rode in the Jeep cheering him on. Yeah, you're doing great. Keep running.
It was. Where did you run? Was it like in the desert or? I don't
talking to
know.
Whiplash now.
I don't. Yeah,
Whiplash,
sorry.
Andrew wants to know where were you running at, but really anywhere in the U.S. at this point in the year
Oh,
is hot.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Rather be home in Arkansas. Okay,
Oh. Okay. Who
interesting.
was it that I knew that was in Hawaii like a week or two ago? Could be
They're
I
not
don't know,
having a
but-
good time either.
No, not really. They've got a little tension going on down there.
What's
It's
going on?
How close
I'm out
are you
of
to
the
the
loop.
volcano there, Whiplash? Are you anywhere near it? Have you flown near it or gone on a boat around it or hiked across the area? Have you been
Throw some virgin sacrifices in there.
There's gotta
That'd
be
be pretty close.
there's gotta be a new guy in the platoon there.
Mm.
So
Roast a little marshmallows.
Oh yeah, marshmallows on a stick.
Whiplash,
On the stick.
you should watch us Monday. Our other co-host that's on then, Ed, he's very military oriented, was in a couple of the different services and always remembers the birthdays for these things. It's not that you wouldn't, Daniel. I just we do This Week in History on Monday nights. So
Yeah, and he may have mentioned it this past one.
probably he rarely misses that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's been a long week.
Who else did something this week? Richard, you do anything?
I had breakfast with John Millington. You put me in touch with him. He
how
runs
about
the. Oh, that was great. He runs. Is it Jersey's comic store down in
Jersey's Cards and Games.
Gloucester? Yeah, fascinating bloke. I had no idea that there's so much going on in that shop.
There is, right?
Yeah, he got activities, people coming in working on projects. He does editing, film editing, a little bit of publishing. Pretty much his shops are kind of a front, like a mafia front for everything that goes on behind it.
It is.
I get
Fascinating bloke.
Yeah, no,
Very
Sounds
cool.
like fun. Sounds like fun.
he might be on
Well, it's
hours pretty soon. What are you saying, Andrew?
It's a good place. I've been going there for years, and when I was in college, before gaming there, I'd sit on my computer and do homework, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like it there.
Whiplash here got back to us, says, not sure you all know, but Hawaii is made up of 7 little islands, and we're on Oahu. Oahu. And I know what it's called. It's Babula.
Wanahakalugi.
That's
Shark bait. Ooh ha ha.
But anyhow, there's no volcanoes there. They'll travel to the other islands. Should be able to save my money sitting in my room playing video games and sit on my phone. There you go. Because you sit on your phone, it vibrates, you pop a nut.
I have to ask, what video game is he playing?
There you go. Let us know what the video game is. Or are you going to ooh and all over there, Andrea?
I was gonna say, speaking of,
I think the actual phrase you were looking for, Travis, was to bust a nut, not pop a nut.
I
either way, speaking of that,
make my own.
I
look
just
at that
had-
at all. Go
I
ahead.
just have to share this. Elizabeth, Dan, you know Elizabeth, Pickle Lady, she's on Monday nights. Because, I'm trying to work on my French, because I could read it, but, understanding it's different. She recommended a movie that's in French. It's like stop motion. It's really cool. It's called My Life as a Zucchini, or As the Zucchini. Wow.
Sounds
And it's
like
a kids'
sex
film.
movie. Oh, my bad. Never mind.
And they are talking about busting a nut. Oh my goodness.
And it's a kids' movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's sad. It's kind of sad. All these kids are in like a foster home or
it's
orphanage.
French.
Yeah, but his mother died. He accidentally killed her. Like you do.
As-
But they're at night. They're like laying in their little beds and they're talking about that. It's great. It's on Netflix. So there you go.
Skipper! By the way,
Wow.
to answer your question, he's playing Call of Duty mostly on his PS4. He's got to wait for his computer to get shipped out.
There you go.
But Jamin, good to see you, man. I showed this on yesterday's show.
Postcard.
I got that one from you. Let's put it right about there. I should be able to show it. So, thank you for that, buddy. Hope Jewel is doing well. And these are the clowns I was trying to invite you on with. Clown. Oh, guys.
That's great.
That reminds me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, working on that. Just below the share button. Just below the video is the share button, which if you click on it, you can share and let your friends know to join us over here right now. Share it to Facebook or Twitter. And as our new friend Whiplash there found, if you scroll down below the video, you'll see a box which has the countdown till the next show. But down below, you'll see other things such as store items, cheers, subs. Go check those out. And the store items are what you buy with the points we give you. So there we go.
So what kind of things do you have in your store, Travis?
Oh, there's anywhere from sound effects like the rim shot you just heard to there's a sound of a cock, there's a sound of a pussy, and there's a sound of an ass, as well as various other sounds. Then you can also redeem things like dad jokes, etc. So there you go.
Nice.
Yay.
And it's all free in the sense that if you watch long enough, you get the points to pick them up.
You get points. You can do the thing.
Do you have your $20 shirts for sale, or did that you actually work on that?
Oh, I have them. Give me just a second. I'll go grab the link for you.
Have you got one to show us?
No, I can't afford them.
What is it? We have shirts.
Here, actually, let me go.
You know, like the I'm not an assassin, but $20 is $20.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
I ended up making up 3 or 4 of them.
I'm not a porn star, but $20 is $20.
Yeah, it is.
And I put them on shirts, bags, and pillows for your couch. See,
Awesome. I was just trying to
for your bed for the porn star one.
I was trying to plug your merch there.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the ones I did was I'm not an assassin, but $20 is $20. I'm not a politician, but $20 is $20. And then I'm not a sex pillow, but $20 is at $20. And the last one is proctologist.
I like that one.
Oh, yeah, that one's cool. I might have to have one of those.
Oh my!
You're gonna
goodness.
do what?
I'm putting a link in the chat for the Kickstarter. Speaking of plugging stuff, the children's books, and the Bring Books to Your Local Library.
You're much more enthused than me. You should do it.
Do
you want to finish it? You're doing great.
Check out the Kickstarter. Click it. Share it. Support it. Bringing new books to the library, to your home and your library. I don't know.
Kickstarter is a crowdfunding fundraiser that raises money for a certain activity or something somebody's trying to do. In this case, I'm a published author. My next 4 books are due out, but I want to pay my artists, so I actually have art in the kids' books, as well as the editor and the cover artist of the other 2 books, which are dystopian, superhero, and steampunk. But anyhow, we're halfway to our goal, and at certain levels, you can get not only the books for yourself, but also for a local library of your choice.
And anybody who hasn't been on Kickstarter or any of these other crowdfunding sites, go check them out. There is some amazing stuff that people just like you and me are trying to create, but we don't have, big financial backers. And this is a good way to support. And I've done a number of programs with, gaming and stuff that I'm interested in. But check them out. They're amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all those sayings with the "I'm not a proctologist, but $20 is $20." I also have it up there as pint glasses. You can buy any of them as a pint glass. So
Well,
always good to bring your
fill
own
it up
glass to
and
the
give a
bar.
toast.
Yeah, you just walk into the
Oh,
bar and be like,
that's
$20.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. Did we
You
get
never know when somebody's going to take you up on it, though. That's the thing.
or take it down?
Somebody's going to take it down. They're
Come
going
on.
to read your T-shirt and they're going to be, actually, here's $20. Take a look at my ass. I've got this huge pimple.
Yeah,
So what are you going to do then?
$20 is $20, man.
Mm. Hey, I'd do it. I just wonder about you. Lot.
Oh, okay.
I'd do a lot worse than that for $20.
I've done a lot better than that for $20. All night long. So, did everybody get a chance to talk about their week and tell us all the incredible things that happened in your life in the past 7 days?
Miss Andrea did not.
Miss Andrea
Didn't
did
you?
not. No, she didn't.
I went to work. I've been on the show. So excited.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Incredibles 2 coming out this weekend.
Oh, is it
Awesome.
this weekend? Oh, excellent.
And the local drive-in theater has a double feature of Incredibles 2 and Avengers Infinity War.
Wow.
We may be going there.
Yeah, $8.25 per person. And
2
nothing
movies.
at the snack bar is over $4 except for the gluten-free stuff, because it costs a lot of money to remove the gluten. They should call it glute out instead of glute in.
Are you guys
Oh.
old enough to remember when drive-ins were the thing? I mean,
Yes.
a big thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was fun, man. We used to always go and take the lawn chairs and just fill the pickup with the barbecue and, go and have a lot of fun.
Well, that's why we go to this one now, because they're not around as much, but they're fun.
Yeah, I think I have to travel about 30 miles to get to one out here. But it's fun. It's worth it.
Ours is a bit
I mean,
of a
we drive.
so.
Yeah, we drive about an hour.
Mhm.
That's all right.
So where is your local one, Travis?
Same place yours is, Goochland.
Goochland.
Yeah, just the other side.
Oh, I know
of
where that is.
Richmond.
On the west side of Richmond.
Correct.
West side of Richmond.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, there
it's
you
a
go.
really nice facility, very clean. It's about an hour 15 just one way, but
Yeah.
coming back
It's
is a
worth
little
the trip.
quicker. Well, it's because it's like 2 a.m. once you've watched a couple movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So
it's family run. They do things like they did an 80s party, 80s dance party. They had a DJ with 80s music. They showed Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the Goonies, which was fun.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
So
That-
did you
that was
guys
great.
say Goochland and Richland?
Goochland,
Richmond.
'Cause I-
Richmond.
Richmond.
The capital of
Richmond. Oh, I was thinking that, back in the day, somebody went, okay, all you rich guys, you live over there in rich land. And the Gooches, you all live in, so.
Doesn't that sound
that
like
was
some
wrong.
kind of Muppet that would hang out with like Cookie Monster or Grover?
Goochland?
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a gooch? Come on over here, meet the guys.
That's another name for a taint.
It is.
Your
It's also,
Same.
Gooch. Yeah.
it's
A
also
taint.
Arnold's. from
Andrea, Richard doesn't know what a taint is. You want to show him?
For some of our listeners who may not know what a taint is,
For $20.
you dumb.
So a taint
Let's
is
have
the
it.
space between your genitals and your anus because it taint your balls and it taint your asshole.
Oh, gotcha.
You're welcome.
Oh, see, over in Europe we call it a wumpfer.
Does it come when you call?
No, but if it weren't for that bit, your guts would fall out.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
One for that bit between your arse and your bollocks, your guts would fall out. There you go.
Oh my god.
If you close your asshole really tight, would they stay in then? So speaking of assholes, is anybody a in American terms, soccer fan, or in the rest of the world's terms, football fan?
Yeah,
Nope.
I'm not a huge fan, but being English, I kind of have to show at least some kind of passing interest in it.
They say that about me in the Super Bowl also, but they're wrong about that too.
Yeah.
So who's your team?
Well, I was brought up in Luton. The 3 years running the scummiest town in Britain, as voted by its population. And Luton has had a football club since the late 1800s, and it was fairly successful. I think now it's playing in the Beezer Homes League. It's gone a bit downhill from there, but yeah, I used to go to football matches with my dad when I was a kid. This was back in the 80s when football hooliganism was rife in Britain.
So
I remember the last...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go.
No, you go ahead. The last match my dad ever took me to was Luton Millwall. I think it was 1985. And I can't even remember the score, but what I do remember is all the Millwall fans came onto the pitch and ran over to the Luton side, ripped all the seats up and threw them on the pitch.
Well, that's cool. So, does Luton, what do you call them? Luton Mill, what? Millwalls?
Luton and Millwall.
What is a mill wall? Like the wall of a mill?
No, it's the opposing club. There's an area in London called Millwall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We don't know this.
What was your mascot for your team?
You know, I don't even remember that. We don't really have mascots.
Oh.
We don't really do mascots at that level.
Because I was really curious what the hell a Luton looked like. Yeah.
Well, they call them the Hatters because the hat industry was one of the big industries in Luton when the football club came up.
Gotcha. And what are the Millwalls? Millwall what?
They just call themselves Millwall.
They're the Millwall. See, I imagine their mascot has to be one of the most boring mascots ever.
It's a wall.
Yeah.
Nope.
Maybe that would have made the hooliganism go down a bit if we'd have had people running on a pitch dressed as penguins and shit before the match.
Oh, yeah. We just watched a movie last night. Our guest yesterday was Brad Williams, a very famous stand-up comedian. At least that's what we're telling everybody that we can. And he played in a movie called Mascots, and we had never seen it, and we went and watched it last night. Now, do you guys like mockumentaries?
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
This is one about the mascot industry, and it's got some famous faces in there. You're going to recognize like 5 or 6 people going. Ed Begley Jr. is in this. What's his name? I can't remember his name now.
Christopher Guest, the guy that played Phil Dunphy's father on Modern Family.
Wow.
Parker Posey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, I got something for you guys.
Uh-huh.
I know we all had mascots in high school, right? What was yours? And I think I got you beat. Yeah, anybody. Yeah, sure.
No, I was a mascot.
Oh, you were what was the character, though?
It was Copper Kings. It was a giant papier-mâché head. But because it was in Michigan and it was always snowing, we didn't really do football, so it was hockey.
What was the mascot?
Copper Kings, because copper was the big thing, and so it was a king.
So what did your outfit look like?
A giant papier-mâché head.
Like Lincoln.
With a crown, like a king? Does he have a crown?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, Travis, what was yours?
I went to 4 different high schools and dropped out in 10th grade. Not sure.
Well, this was my last one.
We had the Patriots, we had some Bengal Tigers, we had Stag, and the last one, I don't even remember what theirs is.
Okay, so I went to Ridgefield High School in Washington. And our mascot was voted one of the, I think it was 16. I don't know how they came up with that number, but the 16 worst mascots in the country.
Uterus.
We were known as the Spudders. Our fighting mascot was a potato.
Wow.
Google it. Look it up. It's big.
Did
We
you
had a big.
use?
Go
Did
ahead.
you use like Mr. Potato Head eyes and nose and change it out?
No, but we
Oh,
did have a
no.
big paper mache potato with a crown, and yeah, it is still. They will not change
I
the
remember
mascot.
Steve Martin did that song about your mascot, King Spud. Came
King
from
Spud.
Idaho, King Spud. Great rider, though.
Oh, we had the Putteridge High School Lion, which was pretty much a lion in a school uniform.
Wait, what was the part
You skip-
before Lion? Pottery High School?
Putteridge High
Oh,
School.
Potter Ridge. I thought you said Pottery High. I'm like, you went to
Yeah.
high school for
Oh,
ceramics?
No,
Oh,
nothing
that was
nothing
great.
as flash as
Not
that.
that fancy.
But it could have been worse. We could have had the Putteridge High School Spud.
That's true.
That's awful.
True. Yeah, yeah.
But I bet you all the girls want to eat you.
fried.
They
Covered
didn't at the
in ketchup.
time. No.
Yeah.
Hey, I was one of the original computer nerds back in the 80s. Well, this would have been the 70s. So, yeah, we hadn't taken over the world yet.
Skipper wants to know, was the mascot known for getting baked?
Our high school teams were horrible. They got baked a lot, actually, and fried and mashed. There's more. Use them all up. There's a lot of puns out there.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my goodness.
You know, the best part of a potato is the fact that you can carve it before it's cooked in the shape of a penis.
Is that the best part of it? Wow.
Might be the best part of your potato, Travis.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Talk about easy to eat.
Wow.
So now Travis has a new nickname. That's my little Spud. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have used the term little. That was, yeah, just sort of
Maybe
a term of
Maybe that's
endearment.
something you should demonstrate on next week's show.
Potato carving?
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20, Travis.
I get potato carve. It'll be the
Oh,
most
my
messed up
goodness.
penis, but I will try to make sure I put a eye from the potato at the very tip of the penis for you.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
See
Oh,
what
no.
you started.
Little gold crown on it. Yeah.
There you go. So what
Are you going to
guys-
peel it, or is it going to be uncircumcised?
Oh my
I just
goodness.
carved the whole thing.
Leave a
By
little bit of the peeling
definition,
on.
It is all circumcised.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't get that bad until I start checking to see, if it fits and this is right. And hold on, I'm busy. Hold on. Almost.
Oh,
there.
God.
So speaking of fried things, earlier before the show started, we were talking about Bojangles. I think it was you were talking about. But I'm really curious. Now, Daniel, on the West Coast, do you have Popeyes and Bojangles?
We do. I've never seen a Bojangles out here.
Okay, but
So,
you tried it
I don't
at
know.
some point?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I have to
well,
opt out of this one because
Okay.
I'm a Popeyes guy.
You just get to make
We have
commentary then, no
KFC.
opinion. Oh yeah, well, that's a different
Yeah.
ball of chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what about you there, Richard? Have you tried both Popeyes and Bojangles?
I have, and I've got to say, I'm a firm believer in Popeyes. Bojangles is good, and it's got that kind of Cajun spice, the dirty rice in there, things like that. But Popeyes has got the right balance of grease and...
The grease balance is so important, isn't it?
The grease
It is.
balance. It's everything.
It's
grease
KFC
balance.
tastes great, but it is so greasy most of the time that
Yeah, it
flavor's
is.
no good if you're like nauseous 10 minutes later.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much. You can feel it floating like a pond scum on top of your stomach.
Yeah.
You, that's a visual.
Daniel, you can
I'm
try-
hungry now.
I know, I am too. I'm like a damn chicken. I don't care how greasy it is. Looking outside just in case one of my neighbor's chickens made it in the yard. I like
Frying it up.
Chick-fil-A best, Toey, But when we're looking at spicy chicken, that's why I was comparing the Popeyes and Bojangles, because the seasoning mixes, they're both
It's
similar
really
in
good.
concept, but they're very different in flavor
Mhm.
of their sides and everything. So
Yeah, I'm a huge Popeyes fan, and years ago they made onion rings, and then they stopped for a while, and we just bitched so much. It was like, you got to do this. Well, now they make them again out here, and I'm a happy guy. I love their onion rings too.
Nice.
Oh, I love onion rings. Wonderful.
Andrew, what was it that I think it was Arby's had for a while, where like the onion petals or something that you were so in love with?
No.
What is it?
Loaded potato bites.
Okay.
It was like little triangle hash brown things filled with mashed potatoes and bacon and yum and no more. Now they're all healthy.
Well, isn't it Outback that has the onion, the bloomin' onion?
The bloomin' onion.
Yeah.
The blooming onion. Yep, that's the one.
Very
That's good though.
Good stuff.
It's
About the only thing good in those restaurants.
No, I like Outback.
Well,
Yeah.
It's
all right.
They make a good steak, and really, you stay away from their other stuff. You just go in there for a steak. It's not a bad steak.
No, they're what is it? Beer cheese dip or something? That's really good. Forget the bread. Just eat it with a spoon. Just saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty true. I went around and tried like Longhorn, Texas Roadhouse, and Outback all within a short period of time, so I could see what is my best local steakhouse without paying $75 or $100 a plate. And out of the three, Outback was the best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, Travis, Bojangles or Popeyes? You didn't chime in.
No, I didn't. It's because the chicken doesn't make a lot of difference to me. One is more, as Richard said, Cajun-y spices. The other one is just spicy. So either one is good with that. What I'd like to do is actually do a taste test of both side by side, and including their sides. Now, I'm not worried about the mac and cheese. I'm not worried about mashed potatoes. But actually, Bojangles mashed potatoes have seasoning and spices in them, don't they, Richard?
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah, and their dirty rice is pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that Bojangles or Popeye?
See?
I think you can get it at
Popeye.
Popeyes, but Bojangles rice is better.
Popeyes has red beans and rice.
Yeah,
Okay.
Popeyes is more like Cajun, Louisiana stuff.
Yeah.
Bojangles.
They even
Well, the
have
one out
crawdads.
here, I don't like it.
River lobsters.
Yeah, they look at you. No.
Well,
That's a no.
They pull their little teeny heads off before deep frying them.
Yeah.
That
We
doesn't
have
make it
some
any better.
we have some great crawfish rivers out here.
I haven't tried
Do
one.
you eat those?
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's
Do you catch them and cook them?
Yeah.
No.
You just
How
go
do you
throw
cook
your cage out, boil them, do just a Cajun boil.
Okay.
Chop up bits of corn, some potatoes, throw it in a big pot, boil it.
Do you take them out of the shell, or what do you?
What's the cleaning process?
No, you don't clean them. You just throw them in live. I mean, you just throw them in, boil them, just like a lobster.
Well, that's
And then-
horrible.
And then everybody's food for something. Come on.
Yeah. I can't eat it. I'm allergic, so I don't give a shit.
Shellfish, yeah. But anyway, just do a big traditional boil that you lay down a bunch of newspapers and then dump the thing out and big outdoor party. Yeah.
See, people do that here with like crabs
Yeah.
and
So-
oysters.
Yeah. So, Daniel, out on the West Coast, do you have soft shell crab?
You can get it at sushi restaurants, things like that, and they have it, and I love it. I love a good good spider roll, I think it's called.
Yeah, there you go, the spider roll.
Yeah.
You get the bone with the legs hanging out of it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, out here it's a big seafood place. We have a lot of, like, if you want clams or oysters or any of that, it's big out here.
Yeah.
Oh, close.
We're not right on the coast, but we're about an hour from the coast. So yeah, we have the fish is all fresh and it's really good.
Skipper says the Popeye near him sucks. Sorry to hear that, Skipper.
What? $20 is $20, right?
That's right.
$20 is $20.
Oh, he's probably talking about something different.
It's bad times for Popeye these days.
Oh my goodness.
Did anybody ever watch a lot of Popeye?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
used to watch Popeye.
You guys remember the black and white ones before they were colorized? When it was just pretty
How
much...
old are you?
Well, you know what? I'm 46 or 47, something like that. But I've watched repeat, so I've seen stuff all the way back to the beginning of television.
Yeah, I guess I remember the black and white ones.
So they originally only had like Popeye, Bluto, or Brutus, whatever they called him in that version, and Olive Oil.
Pluto.
And later they brought in, I can't think of his name, with the burgers, Tuesday. Wimpy.
Wimpy.
Was it Pee-wee, Wimpy?
I seem to remember a part with Bluto beating down the door with Olive Oil hidden behind it, in one of the black and white ones, and he's yelling, they're singing back and forth like an American opera, and he's, open the door, you fucking whore, it's Barnacle Bill the Sailor. Does anybody else remember this?
No, but I need to Google that.
I was gonna say I don't remember that episode.
I don't know if it's, was a parody I saw on the internet, or else if this is something I made up in my head, or it's something I actually experienced from my childhood. I don't know. That's why I'm asking, does anybody else remember this? Open the door, you fucking horse, Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
I think that memory is hiding something, Travis. I think it's blocking other memories.
There ain't shit blocked and whatnot from my memory. I remember all the bad shit that went down.
Let me just do the millennial thing and Google it. Open the door, you fucking
whore. On Barnacle
Bill.
No, I think I found it.
Really?
Barnacle Bill the Sailor by Olive Oil.
John Valby, Barnacle Bill lyrics.
Read the lyrics.
Yep. All right. Who's that knocking at my door? That's what you're supposed to sing, the girls. Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Well, open the door, you fucking whore. It's Barnacle Bill the Sailor. Open the door, you fucking whores. It's Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
Okay.
Girls, shall we go to the dance? Shall we go to the dance? Well, the hell with the dance and down with your pants, said Barnacle Bill the Sailor. The hell with the dance and down with your pants, said Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
Huh.
So was that actually used on the cartoon, or is this just the song that
Andrea, did
somebody
you watch the
did?
video?
I wouldn't. No, I'm reading this from.
Well, I did.
I'm reading this from the John Valby website.
It started to mess up because my internet. But yeah, if you Google Barnacle Bill the Sailor, they show YouTube videos, black and white, and it's Olive Oil. And
now, hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and.
I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm reading the rest. Yes, ma'am.
You need to save that so when you do your quartet singing again.
Now you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're talking. I'm reading the rest of the lyrics. Do you want me to go on?
Actually, one moment. Hold on a second. You guys will be able to hear the sound.
We cannot wear. Popeye dear, we cannot wear. Popeye dear,
I'm going to jump forward.
Barnacle Bill the Sailor.
Bill the Sailor.
I'm going fast forward to the part with the. Can you do this also?
But he's strong and handsome too. But he's strong.
Hold on, I'm going to.
Bill the spirits swab the night.
Who's that knocking
Okay,
at my
this will
door?
lead up to it.
Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Tell the fair young maiden.
It's only me from over the seas, Barnacle Bill the Sailor. I've come to take you away with me. I'm Barnacle Bill the Sailor. Hurry before you get...
Okay, well, I can safely say the Popeye version did not have those lyrics.
Yeah, here's some lyrics I can pretty much guarantee they didn't have.
Go ahead.
What's that dripping down my leg? What's that dripping down my leg? Well, it's only the shot that missed your twat, said Barnacle Bill the sailor.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. I remember that one from being a kid. Yeah. Mommy, what's a twat? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Your father's secretary. Shut up, kid. So
now, true story on fathering my daughter when she was 3 or 4 came to ask me what a dildo was.
Wow. Like kitty.
No.
What did you tell her?
You know, I think I redirected her quickly and we didn't get into a definition. And my wife was just standing there going, oh my God, what is he going to say?
I think that would have been a go ask your mother moment in my house.
By the way, Toey says, Barnacle Bill is an old filthy song that's been paired with all sorts of videos. Here's what I think happened, Toey. I think at a Renaissance fair, at some point in time, I saw somebody on stage perform the original lyrics. So, yeah, and then I remembered the black and white video. I think I've blended 2 memories from the sound of it.
There you go.
So, I'm not sure. Who knows?
But there's a reason for this because now Richard will perform it. He'll practice and he'll perform his next event.
I'll practice. And at some point, I'll come on and
when you're at Retro Daddy-O at my birthday, where we're giving food to animals.
Oh, yeah. When is your birthday at Retro Daddy-O?
November.
It'll be in November.
I'll have picked it up by then.
I'll do a live broadcast, and I'll need musical interludes so I can go pee.
And that'll be you.
So.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
I'll get right on it. $20 is $20, huh?
You need to wear a little sailor's hat when you sing it.
What's the worst thing you do for $20?
Shit.
Oh,
this
okay, that's
show.
one.
I don't know. Let's come up with some ideas and I'll see if I do them. This is
what would you do
hypothetical.
for a Klondike
Right?
bar?
You're not going to hold me to this?
Bump off a child abusing murderer.
Oh, I'd pay for the privilege of that.
Deal. Give me $20. I'll give you an address.
Yeah.
Set you up.
Yeah.
Don't give him my address.
Give him the address of a prison, and he can have his pick.
Shit, I'd break into a prison to do that.
Well, now we know what you're doing. Not this weekend, but
now we know what you're doing this weekend. What?
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of doing horrible things for money, has anyone seen? Oh, what was the movie? The Magic Christian?
No.
I think Ringo Starr actually is in the movie, and this guy is filthy rich, and he wants to go out and see what people would actually do for money. It's a good watch. It's kind of funny.
See, it's different.
I think.
Go ahead.
It culminates into a scene where he takes an entire Olympic-sized swimming pool and fills it with shit and tells the people there's money in there. That's a wonderful scene. Yeah.
They get in and see if they can find it.
I put it on my list.
Okay.
There was a game show in the late 90s, early 2000s. What would you do for money?
Oh, God, yeah.
And they would stand in the street and, like, just count out 20s to get people to do things like, smack a stranger or whatever. And,
it's crazy what people do.
Yeah. And I heard the Japanese
$20
of course,
is $20.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, those Asian game shows. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, especially the Asian reality ones, as opposed to just winning money. They're out there and having to do crazy, crazy things. So I sent him my ex's address.
You know, they're kind of Asian people, the Japanese people especially. They seem to be. They seem to have a sense of when they've got to keep their social mores in tow. You know, when they've got to really toe the line. But given the opportunity, they are batshit crazy.
Yeah, they definitely time and place is beat into them or bred into them or whatever into them. And there's both things are allowed, but right time, right place.
Oh yeah, it's just the right time, right place.
We have about 5 minutes before we go into our first refill break.
Good.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna.
I was keeping track because I have a card.
I don't think I'm going to bring any of the other topics I've written down right now. I'm going to let us just kind of ramble for a minute. Unless, you know what, let's talk about... so I've seen in the news recently, Free Tommy Robinson. And apparently this is a UK thing. Hey, Kennedy.
Hey, Kennedy.
All right.
So,
well,
what's going on there?
Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is an English right-wing activist. He formerly was the head of a group called the English Defence League, pretty much their anti-immigration, anti-integration.
Is he anti-immigration or is he pro-anti-immigration?
He's pro-anti-immigration.
Okay, so he's like, let people come in. Come on.
Yeah, very much. England for the English, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, that'd be anti-immigration.
Yeah, he's pro-anti-immigration.
Okay, so he's like, keep them the fuck out.
Keep them the fuck out.
That's his
England for the English.
Okay, so he
one of the nastiest slogans,
etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the nastiest slogans they had, the English Defence League had, was that they would chant, "There ain't no black in the Union Jack."
Oh.
Which, yep. Well, anyway, he stepped down from that and he went to work for a similar group in Germany. Well, what he's done is he's serving 10 months at the moment for contempt of court. He published on Facebook Live a video of defendants entering a court. These were bad people. I mean, these were people from an alleged child porn ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been jailed for televising on Facebook Live these people coming in and going out of court.
Because it put other people's lives in danger as haters might come along to harm them and other people.
Yeah.
So Toby here says the big issue around Tommy is the usual double standard about left hate speech is okay, but right hate speech is verboten. Okay, that makes sense. So he's a bigot, and so when one side yells, the other side goes, "Hey, that's not fair. We can't do it." Yeah, we got 2 minutes. Yeah. You got 2 minutes.
I know. You said give it to you 2 minutes.
So okay, so he's
the reason why all this came up is there's a meme, right?
Well, Richard, you're in the VIP Facebook group, right?
Yeah.
You saw the picture of the naked Vikings on bicycles across from the Tommy protesters, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. By the way, I'm kind of surprised 10 months in jail, that is nothing. Why do they need to hold things for freedom? Screw it. He put people's lives in danger. And he's a douche.
No.
He is a douche.
They need a little time in dark holes.
Douche.
Mm-hmm. That's the French way to say it.
Douche. Douche. Yeah. Hang on a minute. There's a little bit more backstory here.
What do you got?
Oh.
His original name was Lennon. And he was, blah, 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 prominent member of the Men in Gear football hooligan crew. There you go. Which follows Luton Town Football Club. Oh, I had no idea. We had our own personal hooligan crew.
You know, you got to be careful. We're Americans.
So there you go.
We
That's
believe anything we hear online, and you've just said those things.
Mm-hmm.
So we totally believe it is Lenin from Russia living in the UK and playing hooligan football.
No,
I was gonna say what I thought John Lennon got shot.
Yeah, it was Lennon, not Lenin.
Oh.
I doubt he's related to John Lennon, but that was his original name. What was his original name? Blah, blah, blah. Robinson was born Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon. There you go. So he's not even operating. He's not even operating under his real name.
No, it's his grandfather's name, blended with one other name, isn't it?
Hmm. There you go.
So
yeah, pretty much he's a thug. He's a thug who's matured into a political activist.
Okay.
And the far right has rallied behind him.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just about 5 minutes. So everybody who's a guest, make sure you mute your headset. We'll be back in a couple minutes. And I are having a good night. I'm all like, yeah, baby, rub.
Hi. I'm a special unicorn. And I'm so getting toasted on top of the tavern. Nay. Nay.
Talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome.
Hey, look, it's ice. Baby! I'm lost and I'm trying to find my way to get toasted at Talk of the Tavern. If I can clean up a mess from my peacock, 2 can too. Look, I found a wide-necked turtleneck for a midget. See the boobs go there and then the legs? For the pirates in your life that like to have great hair, argan oil. Hey, want to see the definition of morning wood? Oh my god. It's a patron-only video. Oh god. What'll I do? This kind of shit my friends get, not strangers. I think there's a cat right over there. They just peed a little. I done told you already! Butt bopper. So Barbie now has pink hair, that's kind of cool. And then she also has a dream elephant. Oh, the things Barbie dreams about. Bubble pong, the way to introduce your kids to bong. Just get them this and some beer. Let them go. My first thought was, that's not a flamingo. Hey honey, I found your game. Oh wait, it says ski, not skis. Never mind. You know what? I really got something I want to ask you. I done told you already! It's time for a nap because we got toasted on Talk of the Tavern. Look, it's Africa's best. No lie. Farm Friends hand puppets. Don't give this to your teenage son. You know what that leads to in the future. Bestiality. Wiggy wiggy wag, tail to pay. Wiggy wiggy wag, tail to pay. Yeah, wiggy wiggy wag, tail to pay. M&M's named after me. White cheesecake. Did you see that unicorn? It shit and run. You know, sometimes when I just gotta go, but I can't, I need a little pre-poo. Seen it all. Look, it's a poop sharpener. it gives a point to my shit. It's the Gallagher game, fun for the whole family. Or assaulting a stranger. I done told you already! I do what I want.
Don't egg him on.
You want a piece of me?
No money.
Wiggy wiggy wag, tail to play. I'm a dog and I like my bitches. I don't like lions, they get snitches.
Hold on. What the hell is this place called again? Cigar Realm. Mommy's baby. That's where Mommy keeps the baby. At least it's ashes. That must be some kind of fucking lifestyle. Look, it's just like me, a white booty. You ever felt like a sandwich?
Bitches, fuck, you know what I mean. So I'm going to go for a doggy rap. I turned to Russian, sounds like crap. Fuck.
Okay, and we're back for the second hour of Talk at the Tavern. Were we done with Tommy? Are we ready to move on from that?
Yeah, let's move on from Tommy. Tommy's not worth wasting too much time on, I don't think.
As Andrea is kind enough to point out, don't forget to go below your video screen, guys. Click on that share button. Share it to Twitter or Facebook or whatever you didn't share it to last time. Make sure you get your friends over here and let them know why they should watch us. Because you're here. So let's see here. I got something here. So one of the reasons I brought both of you guys on today is, frankly, so I thought you guys would get along, be a reasonable, pair to have in a conversation either today or in the future, etc. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, it's really hard to make friends as an adult, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is hard to make friends as an adult.
What do you think?
And I think one of the reasons is that there's so much less social interaction that's purely done for the reason of social interaction. I mean, people don't generally gather in a place at all unless there's a reason to do so.
At our age or at all?
Well, at all is let's say over 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, not as a strict cut off, but
I don't think it's all that hard. I think we make it hard for ourselves because we relegate ourselves to our screens and in our house, and we close ourselves off. And I think it's a voluntary, even if it's negative thing like that, because there are gatherings, there are any interest you have, there's a group somewhere. And, a lot of people will discount online friends as not the equivalent, but I don't believe in that. I mean, I started when I first started with the internet, it wasn't even a thing. And chat groups and things came along and everybody's like, oh, but I have real friends. And it's like, wait a minute, that's a real person on the other end of that. And, it's a different process, in my opinion. I think we do it to ourselves.
Yeah, we do. And just to back you up on what you said about the validity of an online friendship, my wife and I's first contact was actually through a chat room. It was many, many years ago. 4 years later, we married and moved to the States. And I used to be very conscious of it, and it used to be something I would refuse to discuss. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, when it gets to when you get our age, when you're in your late 30s, early 40s, as I was back then, it is harder to meet people. And I know so many people who say, oh, people I went to school with, and I say, oh, how did you meet your wife, or how did you meet your husband or your partner or whatever? And they say, oh, we were out drinking one night. Well, people may poo-poo people meeting via an online connection, but surely that's got to be more healthy than meeting somebody drunk in a bar one night.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
You know?
By
And
the
it took
way,
me a long time to come around to that.
I've never had a problem with people meeting online. Just don't be stupid about it. That's all.
Yeah,
You know,
this is it. Don't be stupid. Don't be any more stupid about it than you would be in any other situation.
Let me read Kennedy's comment, and then I have a few comments in reply to what you guys have said. Kennedy says, I don't think that we play the way like kids do, just going across the street to play ball with another, which I think is what Richard was saying with there's not gatherings like that anymore. Sure, you got a church or a concert or a public event, but we don't have social gathering places where you can go in there and see the same people every week to hang out with. Bars were taken over by sports bars that, yeah, it's not the place you want to go to hang out. You can't even talk. Now, as for the other stuff, I think, what do you got there, Andrea? Tatiana
I
Gravy
don't know
Blue?
if it'll show. No, Tatiana, Waking Dream. It is vanilla cream and single malt whiskey.
Oh, damn.
It smells lovely.
But the internet really opened us up. It's easier for me to find a like-minded group online than going through local channels. Mine is going to a comic store. I guess, there could be other places like that if you're into sports. You go to the batting cages or the golf range or the pool hall or something. So do you think we limit ourselves on making friends then? Because the opportunity is there.
I think the older people get, the less likely they're to trust people to be friends. A little more standoffish, I guess.
Do you think that's because as an adult our relational experiences, even if they're, just friend relationships or acquaintances, that we've had more rejections or, build up over time. And so you're a little more leery to put yourself out there and go, this is me, and be able to accept somebody going, I hate that, and move away.
I think that's less of an issue. It's more of an issue that you have faced enough betrayal in your life. Everybody has abandonment issues on some level, is something I have said before. And with abandonment issues are nothing more than specific trust issues. So what I'm saying is, sure, you have a couple of good friends, but even friends you held for 2 years or 20 years or more, some of those have betrayed you in some way, whether it's a imagined slight or an actual slight. But yeah, I think you're just older, bitter, and more comfortable with yourself as you get older. So you're like the older lion. Let the boys go over there and fight it out to see who's next in line. I'm perfectly good laying in the shade. I'll get up.
Well, Kennedy says, even working in New York City, it's a challenge. But I've made a lot of friends in steampunk this year. Mm-hmm. I think that's where a lot of people, because conventions and Ren fairs and things. So I think a lot of people are meeting people there because they can be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact,
that's how I met you.
Well, I knew Richard before I knew Andrea, but we met at a building Andrea was in. MarsCon 2013, I think.
Yeah.
It's you and I and Dave. Well, I met you and Dave for the first time in the hall, and Andrea was working the costume contest that year, and I just never knew her.
Yeah, that was that the year Doctor Who came? Peter.
I believe so.
What's his name? Yep. And signed the front of the Dalek.
I believe so.
Signed the front of Dave's steampunk Dalek. Yeah, that was a while ago.
No. That was the next year, because Dave, I knew Dave when he was making the Dalek before he had it built.
Right. So, I gotcha. Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the point is, going to, as was, I believe Daniel said, going to events and whatnot. So we bring conventions into the equation and maybe only go to 2 or 3 a year. But that's where you meet your online friends in person, make new friends in person.
Yeah.
But how hard, as easy it is to communicate nowadays via text, Facebook, whatever, how hard does it seem to be to contact somebody, whereas 40 years ago maybe you would have sent a letter.
You would have actually
I still
sent
do
letters
that.
when they're across the country and talked to them more than people talk to somebody across the country now, even though it's instantaneous.
Well, I think part of it is the depth that we enter into conversation. Texts are often real, how's the weather kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Small talk. That's what I'm looking for. Whereas when we'd sit down and you'd write a letter, you want to get through 3-4 pages of, information. And it wasn't, I think the quickness and the ease that cell phones and email and all this have given us, we type with less thought.
So
and
easier and quicker communication has created shallower conversation.
I think partly, I don't think it's overwhelming, but partly, yeah.
I think the convenience has made people lazy. And I can be accused of this because, when I lived an hour away from work, I would be on time or early. I had a job where I lived across the street. It took me 5 seconds to walk. I was late every day. So, just because it's there, people get lazy, I think.
I think because it's so easy to communicate with people as well that you don't invest so much in it and you don't expect so much back. Now, that's not necessarily true of all friendships. People are still going to have, a circle of very close friends, maybe one or even just one or two that they call real close buddies. But people are getting a larger circle of friends. But when you say friends, it's people that they contact now and again, or they only talk about one subject with. They get together, like you say, through a steampunk convention.
Yeah.
How am I trying to put it? I'm not saying that we can't be friends. I'm not saying that maybe the 3 or 4 of us can't be friends. But what has brought us together? What brought Travis and I together originally was steampunk. Yeah. Now, we've talked about a lot of other subjects since then, but originally it was based on a very narrow definition of a mutual interest.
Yeah.
It just brings people together. They have to expand on that.
Yes,
Kennedy says
for a bowling league. Go ahead, Andrew.
Kennedy says a lot less time on the phone as a phone. True.
Yeah, that's true.
See, I think they say your average single person has an average of 5 friends that they talk to on a regular basis, whether you want to call that close friends or whatever. Once you're married, that drops to 3 per person, which to me, it sounds like it's 2.5 rounded up, and what they're telling me is as a couple, you're going to have 5 friends between the two of you.
Yeah.
And I get that, and that makes sense. It's logical looking at it throughout, people I've known as well as my own life. Okay, no, that sounds about right. Then you have your second circle of associates or whatever. But they're not confidants like that center circle. But when we lose one of those friends, whether for whatever reason, I'm not necessarily saying they die or I assassinated and dropped them in the desert. I'm just saying you lose a friend now and then. Do you bother to replace them anymore?
$20 is $20.
That's right. So what do you replace friends when you lose friends out of your close circle? Count your close circle now. Who do you have? How many people? And couples count as 1.
Maybe 5. And none of those friends that are my dear closest friends do I share with my wife. She has her friends. We have a few couples that we know together. But my deepest friends, they're from high school, and we're still friends.
See, with me, I do things like, Andrea, meet so-and-so, because if I like this person, and I like Andrea, and I see they have common interest, then why shouldn't they get along? So, I usually go, hey, we're a couple, you're going to accept both of us as individuals that are together, and if you're going to hang out with me, at some point in time, you're hanging out with Andrea, so you might as well get to know her.
So, hi, guys.
Yeah.
So there she is.
Yeah, I wasn't saying we build a strong wall between my friends and her friends.
Okay. So your
we all
friend
get
might
along
come over
and
for dinner also, without
exactly
having to have a
But
friend.
you have friends that you go out with separately.
Yes.
So that's
yeah. And my wife is just more high kind of they know her and they get along with her, but they don't share the interests that I do.
Who'd you go
Like I
fishing
said,
with?
I went by myself today
okay.
or yesterday.
Okay.
I went by myself because my next door neighbor was going fishing for salmon, and I didn't feel like going there, so we didn't go together.
Fuck salmon. Fuck you. Off my lawn.
Throw my pole down. I'm going home.
We saw a video the other day of a little kid in an antique store, a little kid being 9, 12, something like that, and he picks up a pencil sharpener and he's twirling it, and you can hear the mother who's videoing him going, "Do you know what that is?" And he's like, "Yeah, fishing reel, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's one of the really old ones."
That's funny.
Yeah, it's okay, but so Richard, what about you? You got a couple friends?
Yeah, I'd agree. Totally agree with you. Once you get married, your circle of friends diminishes. I'm in a little bit of a different situation because I moved across the Atlantic to live here, away from my friends at school. Obviously, contact dwindled between myself and many of my friends over there, as is natural.
Right.
But probably my closest friend is a guy who was best man at my wedding. I've known him since we were 11. We went to high school together, and we're still in regular contact via Facebook and phone. Make a point of going up visiting when I go back to Britain from time to time, usually once a year. And he contacted me yesterday. He restores and likes to play around with old cars, and he had something he wanted to discuss about it. And we just old friendships and very close friendships, I think, can survive something like that. But it's true, when you do have a life change, not necessarily like moving away, but getting married, your inner circle does dwindle.
It does.
Well, I think your social focus changes a bit too when you get married.
Yeah.
And your list of girlfriends definitely drops a little bit when you get married.
Absolutely, and it goes the same for both sexes, because let's face it, when you're single, natural selection is the reason you have a big circle of friends, is because subconsciously or deep somewhere within your DNA is the drive to find a mate. Well, once you've found that mate, then there's less reason for you to have a big circle of friends and more reason for your new mate to limit your circle of friends so there's no competition.
It's very logical, especially those groups of friends that were meant specifically for broad spectrum socialization.
Yeah. And it's not something that you do. It's not something you do consciously. It's something that I'm no expert, but it's something I would imagine goes on in any group of social animals, like chimpanzees or horses or whatever.
So, Andrea, what about you? Would you say you have 3 to 5 friends, more or less?
Probably depends on how close the friends are. Some pretty close friends I talk to on a regular basis. Yeah, 3 to 5.
See, I'd have to say,
but I do have more than that.
Ed and Kevin would have to count as 2 of our friends. And Elizabeth, now that, because Mondays we get together at least once a week. We share personal details, not necessarily on air, but So I'd say those 3 have to be within our little friend circle thing.
Oh, well, then there's more. Well, I talk to Elizabeth almost every day. I was talking to her earlier,
right.
So.
See, whereas me,
and I have 3 Elizabeths.
She's actually collecting the whole set.
Collect them all.
There's been guys I've known since high school, and eventually, even after keeping in contact for 20, 25 plus years, eventually I didn't break off contact as much as just let it fade away. And this will sound judgy, but you are who you were around, and I didn't need my life going in the direction there. They were basically pushing theirs into the dirt. And it gets to a point where I'm like, I've tried to help, I have been here, and I'm done. And all I had to do was not call them, and it stopped.
Yeah, exactly. When I moved to California, I got that too. the friends that would reach out and connect with me, call on the phone, email, whatever, it goes way down because you're not directly in their life anymore. But it's those few that stuck around. I've moved back. I think two of my best friends I met in high school. One of them I met when I was 5 years old, walking to kindergarten, and he lived down the street. And now, 50 something years later, we're still friends. And, he still plays Dungeons and Dragons with me. I see him every week. I talk to him two or three times a week. So, but my best friend I met in high school, I only knew him in that relationship for a year and a half. And then he dropped out of school, moved to Alaska. But every time we ever got near, we picked up that best friend status. Nothing has changed. So I get along with him really well.
I don't know if I've ever had a best friend. I've had people tell me I'm their best friend. Oh, by the way, Kennedy says, he loves fishing, by the way, Daniel. But also, I connected again with my college roommate, and it was like we had seen each other just the past month.
Yeah, that's Tim and I. We do that same kind of relationship, He'll disappear for 6 months, and when he comes back, he's married now and doesn't tend to do that anymore. But he was a big, pull up stakes and go, I'm going to go here for 6 months. So it was it was before the internet was huge, so it was harder to connect. But every time he just, like you said, stepped right back into the relationship, and, time had never passed.
Richard, were you going to say something? I think you took an intake of breath.
Yeah, I was wondering, one of the experiences that I find totally baffling is the experience of being the child of a military parent. My father wasn't in the military, nor was my mother. And we essentially lived my family still lives in that. My mother still lives in the same house that her and my father bought when I was 2 years old in 1970. So I'm not used to up in sticks and moving every 3 years or every 5 or even 10 years. I lived in the same house until I finally left home for as long as I could remember.
I have moved.
And I'm just wondering how people can maintain friendship, or even if people do maintain friendships, if they're moving out of state every 3 years or to Japan or Germany or wherever.
I have moved 62 times in my life.
62?
62. I keep count because after 40 or so, it got interesting to me. I went to 4 different high schools. I went to 2 different middle schools and like 5 different elementary schools. I still have friends that I have known since I was 5 years old. He was 3. There was another one, definitely high school. I have probably 6 to 10 friends from high school that I can get in contact at any point in time. Now, some of these folks have been the ones that were they were tearing their lives up and they weren't looking for help. And I went, I'm just no longer going to reach out. And then guess what? It goes away. So I'm not confused by how you keep in contact. It used to be I would make long distance phone calls and pay to talk to my friends. Then when the internet came along, it was a lot easier with Instant Messenger, whether it's AIM or Yahoo or ICQ or Powwow. Those were the first ones I were using, Powwow and ICQ. It's like going home. You like to visit the things that are familiar, and you do have you're the same age or a similar enough age where you're at the same place in your life approximately as they are. So you still have like experiences. So it's very easy to pick up where you left off after 3 minutes of catching up of I've got this job and this kid.
Travis, what was the cause of so many moves? He was mentioning military family, but was this...
Well, there was the mob looking for us, and then the government...
I was going to ask of a witness. Yeah,
no, angry pitchfork-bearing villagers threw you out.
It took them months to get to Ohio when I moved from Florida, but they showed up eventually. No, Now, my name means the traveler, one from the crossroads. So it is in my nature, for whatever reason, name or otherwise, to travel. But I did move 16 times before I moved out of my mother's house at age 16, which, by the way, 3 or 4 months after I moved out of my mother's house at age 16, I moved to just outside of New York City on my own. It's just, I like to travel. And if I didn't have a son now, or more specifically, if I didn't have a son with a joint custody agreement, I would have probably moved to a different state at some point in time in the past. But I've been here since 97.
Yeah, I was mainly wondering if it was, you were drug along, or if all those changes were voluntary.
Wanderlust. Most of them are voluntary.
Exactly.
I love to see new places, and I'd like to get to that point in my life where I can have a headquarters to return to, and instead go visit further places. So the only way I could see a new state is I didn't have money for a vacation, but I did have money to move. So it worked out. By the way,
one-way tickets are cheaper.
Well, U-Hauls are cheaper. Or when you have a vehicle, you load it all up, you have the gas money to get there, but then you got to get a job to pay your way back. No. Kennedy says, my experience is like Richard. And Skipper says, I covered that one. Skipper says, I finally got to see a close friend who I had met once on a photo shoot 8 years ago. Been great friends ever since that day, and call or text several times a week. So, gentlemen, let me put this to you. You meet somebody new that you like, you want to hang out with them. How's that work out now with everybody so busy in their lives? Have you made new friends in the past 10 years that you're like, no, this is awesome, I got a regular buddy?
Yeah. Usually through other friends or acquaintances. Mm-hmm. Dave Lee, I actually met Dave Lee because my wife Angela was friends with his wife, and as husbands we were kind of dragged along to help carry the boxes, mm-hmm. and do all the hard work at belly dance shows, and Dave and I happened to hit it off pretty well.
You make a cute guy couple, I tell you that. And not romantic at all. Just, you get some buddies that you look at them and you go, those two look like they're fun and having fun. They look good together because they're playing off of each other well. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah, a bromance. I know what you mean. But,
yes, Kennedy, that's the one.
Kennedy, both Richard, Andrea, and myself, all three of us have been to Dave's house. Dave has been to our house.
Well, this is how we met.
That's true.
Because, I'm a friend of Mish, his wife, and he's a friend of Dave, and
they just put us in the same place at the same time and went.
That's how we met.
Yeah. So So what do you think? Is it easy to get new? Do you get new friends nowadays?
Yeah, well, without making a conscious effort, yes. I mean, I've never been a really big social butterfly, but once I've got myself confidently going, I can be a lot of fun in a group, and people do tend to come talk to me because a lot of it's because I'm from somewhere that they haven't been.
Right.
You always need an icebreaker, but it is. How can I say, there always has to be some kind of event or a catalyst or a reason to be somewhere.
Right.
Nobody just when you're 32 like we are, nobody just walks up to the new people down the street, bangs on the door and says, "Hey, does Jimmy want to come out and play tag?"
Yeah.
Why don't
when you're 6, anymore? You do that without batting an eyelid.
One of the fortunate things that I found with you're talking about meeting new people and making new friends.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost a number of friends recently. I'm just that age, and people start to go away.
They pass. They're dead. So it's not left my life. It's there. Yeah.
They went to the store and lost
they got old and died, or died from cancer. A lot of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, doing the show that I do. I travel around and I interview people. I meet groups. I seek out groups of people in woodworking, which is a great interest of mine. And, yes, some of those are developing to be deeper relationships rather than just talking about woodworking. We started discussing life and things like that. And a lot of them are online, or we chat or whatever, or I'll see them at gatherings and things. But yeah, I think you really do. You create this little group of people, and if somebody leaves, sometimes you fill it, sometimes you don't, because one, that friend that left, I made him 45 years ago or 30 years ago or 20 years ago. And, to start over with somebody, that's work.
How do you fill that gap?
Yeah. Well, you don't. You can't, because no one will ever fill that spot.
You get a cat.
You get a cat. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have lost a lot of friends. Huh?
Yeah. It's see, that's a fair point. Now, by the way, for the viewers, Richard and I don't necessarily hang out often. We see each other every 18 months at some event and chat for 5 minutes, laugh, and move on. And I've recently invited him on the show more than once. Now, Daniel was on the show, and then we got talking D&D, so it went into that. So now we're talking on a regular basis. So these are new friendships, essentially.
Yeah.
Even though I've known Richard 5-6 plus years now, the friendship, he was an acquaintance. You saw, you were happy to see him, and then you left. But now we're talking more.
Yeah.
Skipper's saying,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Roughhead, I did not mean to ignore that last statement. Dave is a great guy. He's very kind and generous and fun to hang out with, whether it's 5 minutes in a con or at his house. Skipper says, I found I'm much better at keeping touch now that I'm disabled because I'm not working 80 hours a week. And that's what I was going to go into. Time management. Especially when you have a spouse or a family or both. You have to give so much time to them, which means you only have so much time on the phone with Bob, Mike, Susie, Ellen, or whoever. And if you lose a friend, you have more time with other people now. Even if it's just on the phone or playing a video game together online or whatever. So, yeah, time management is a big part of that. To bring a new person in, you have to go, is this person worth 10% of my social time? Right. So
totally. And that's a qualification. I mean, you make those decisions, and we all try people out. It's like you meet somebody and it's like, oh, okay, I'll conversate with you a little bit more. And, like you're fishing, testing the bait, like we talked about. And sometimes, no, they're not worth your time. So they become, in the acquaintance list.
Right.
Like, if I want to talk about that subject, sure, I'll touch base with them, but it's not going to go any deeper. And yeah, we do that. People come in and out. And I think that's just how we are socially.
I agree. Well, also you tend to bond to people in similar situations or similar backgrounds, something you could connect over. And even with somebody who's 2 years behind you in their life, it can make a big difference.
Yeah.
You're like,
It
they
can.
like me, but I don't like them as a best buddy to give that much time to.
Right.
And that's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
No, I was saying that. Yeah, and you take people, and it's like, are they just I don't even know if I'd call them a friend, but somebody that you share experiences with. And when you mentally go to that space, yeah, we'll connect. But it's when they go deeper, when you don't just talk about an online game or a hobby or something like that, where it's a little bit more about life. You share a little bit deeper and you test those waters. And, sometimes people play into that and we're good. We got a new friend. But what you were saying, Travis, about how much mental time do you have to give in a day to all these people? And I think like you were saying, the 3 to 5 people tends to be the average of how much mental time somebody has to really give to a friendship.
Richard, what were you going to say, bud?
I was going to say we're almost coming round full circle to discuss the level of trust which people invest in a friendship.
Yeah.
If you, it's kind of a sliding scale. You start off, people meet each other as just an acquaintance, and they find out they have something in common that maybe they're passionate about gaming, or maybe they're both recently divorced, whatever it may be, and you find you click on some level with this person. But it's not until you've known them for a while that you really start to invest in it. And I think a lot of it is trepidation. Once you get a few years on us, like we have, we've all been stabbed in the back, metaphorically stabbed in the back, or thrown under the bus by a friend, or had something that you weren't expecting and has ruined friendship. And obviously, it's a very unpleasant experience. And I think a lot of it is that you learn from these experiences and you try not to set yourself up for them again. Mm-hmm. And that creates a barrier that you over time you have to take down brick by brick to build the trust, or you leave the barrier up and stay in the acquaintance zone, as it were.
Right. Hey, John, I think this would be a conversation that you'd enjoy and have things to say about. But we're done with it, so what else we got to talk about? No, I'm kidding. If there's and now, Andrea, do you have anything to say on any of this?
No.
Good answer.
Good answer.
It's we're talking about making
all been
friends.
Said already.
Well, once you're over a certain age, making friends and whatnot. Now, John, I would say, is a pro at making friends.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at reaching out to people and talking to people and then contacting them again, not just dropping. At least that's been my experience with him. Maybe he drops everybody else. He just likes my mustache. Daniel, with that thing behind you, with your little reverse screen play button, and then your headset, when you're facing camera, it almost looks like a nun's habit. Like you're wearing, a little nun collar.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Just because
you got a problem with that?
No, none on, my friend.
So I could dress like a nun. $20 is $20.
My mother once told me she doesn't. She could never be a nun because she doesn't believe in none.
There you go.
Well, that's none of your business. Oh my God.
Well, none. What are you telling me for?
I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
It's a bad habit.
It's okay.
Oh
Mom.
my
I'm still
God.
not sleeping with you.
Yep. Too many choir boy things. No. Bad touches.
So John may be rethinking of turning this on in the shop right now.
That's true.
You're welcome.
Well, now with Bill Cosby's new Puddin' Pops, they won't remember.
God.
Too soon?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, too soon.
That's a pretty good cigar. Do either of you... Yeah, go ahead and press your... Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that audio comes across very well or not.
The only word I understood was bullshit. The rest...
That's all you needed. The rest is arbitrary.
Do either of you gentlemen enjoy cigars at all?
I tried to smoke a cigar once. I made the mistake of inhaling it.
Oh.
And it kind of put me off.
That does it. That will do it.
No.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I do smoke a pipe from time to time.
I'm from Oregon. We smoke different things up here.
Like pork?
Yeah,
pork in Virginia.
It's going to be a while before Virginia legalizes it.
You think so? Because the federal government, from what I heard, is
legalize it?
Yeah.
Oh.
When did they legalize it? Oh, no, I'm joking.
It's apparently, from what I heard Monday on the show, is the federal government is looking at legalizing it on a federal level. So I think if that happens, a lot of states are going to flip a lot quicker than they would have otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I still think that Virginia will be one of the last states to go.
You might be right.
I'm pretty sure because they're always kicking and screaming and saying no. But, if it does get legalized when it does, that should make a lot more jobs for people. Just saying.
Well, I mean, tell us how it's going in Oregon. How has it affected the economy, if at all, in Oregon?
It's a lot of money because I saw some statistics and we're talking about just like the lotteries, trying to use the surplus money for the government in charities, school lunches, things that matter, I guess. And they are showing some great numbers. They're starting to have a problem because a few of the growers are accused of accumulating a surplus, and then that surplus is not getting sold, so they're selling at black market. So they're just being, drug dealers and things like that on the side. So, there's a little bit of growing pains involved in the business. And I remember when they first legalized. Go ahead.
Real quick, this is funny. Skipper says, doesn't that require a joint session of Congress?
I think it might.
Oh.
I think most governmental gatherings should include a joint session. Can you imagine Trump meeting our North Korean buddy, having a smoke? Yeah. No.
Today's his birthday.
Which one?
Trump.
Oh, yay.
And it was Trump that said he is considering legalizing it on a federal level.
There's money to be made. Of course he would.
Oh, yeah. It's good business.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that's one reason I've said make it legal. But then again, as we discussed earlier, perhaps give everybody a gun and then people be a lot more reluctant to shoot people. And there's also the legalize all the drugs, let the idiots kill themselves off. Sorry about the, because there'd be a splash over there.
Yeah.
But
I don't think legalization developed new users. I think the people that were prone to using that or prone to using alcohol or any of that, they're going to use it. Just because it's legal, you're not going to develop a lot of new consumers.
No, not a lot of new ones. When it's illegal, you're going to draw certain people in that you wouldn't have ever drawn in if it was legal. On the other hand, once it's legal, you will draw in certain people that would have never done it when it's illegal.
True.
True.
So but I don't think it's a great numbers on either side, though.
No. I think it's a significant number, like 20 to 30%, but I don't think it's great numbers, as in you're going to triple your user base.
Yeah. Well, and see, that could go with many different things other than drugs or alcohol. Look at the marriage.
Yeah.
Just because it was legalized doesn't mean you get more people getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. It does in my mind.
Well, hello to disco. Hey, you could type in !disco and my cat will dance. It's
Does that say? It just moved. There we go.
And,
North Ireland.
There we go, North Ireland, and also what do we got here? I'm just going to go with narco, which is funny because we're talking about drugs, so the word narc is there. But good to see you guys. So are you both from overseas, or one of you from the Scandinavian region, the other one from North Ireland, or what's going on? Let us know. As Disco RS. As Discourse? Not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think absolutely these Lithuania, nice. Glad to hear you.
Oh, wow.
Wow, we're getting
Cheers.
In Kazakhstan. Oh, we've had somebody from Kazakhstan before.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone global.
Oh, yeah, we often do. It's good to see
we
you
usually
guys.
are.
And your English is excellent.
Yeah, welcome. That's awesome.
It's we are spread across the U.S. from East Coast to West Coast here. So, and feel free, we'll chat with you and interrupt ourselves to read off your comments or questions or whatever. So, we're just having a BS session, which, in case you're not familiar with it, stands for bullshit. So.
And Daniel has a bullshit button.
He does. Touch your button. Touch your button.
That was bullshit.
There we
I got to change the batteries. It's not very. Now I actually use these in my Dungeons and Dragons game when I'm playing. I have like seven or eight of them, and they say anything from no to blah 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 blah. And yeah, it's my job to interact into the game by using those. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I have a Mr. T button too.
Do you?
That's awesome.
I'm trying to get him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Can I be on with the button? Then I can tell him, stop your jibber jab. No.
I think we just poke him and he says it instead.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be an awesome guest, man. That would be awesome.
That'd definitely be fun. I haven't heard back from him yet, but
Talk about nostalgia, though.
what's that?
That's Mr. T. Nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, from childhood.
Now, the first I heard it, he did a little wrestling, then he did A-Team in Rocky 3. What did he do before that? Anybody remember him without Googling?
He was a bouncer for a number of years. He did the wrestling thing.
That's right, he was a bouncer. I remember the story was about all the gold chains was that when he was a bouncer, he would find jewelry that had been dropped by drunk people, and to see if they would pick it up the following week, he would hang it round his neck. So if they saw him on the way into the club, they'd think, oh, yeah, that was mine, and he would give it back to them. Well, half of them were so drunk that they didn't recognise it, so he wound up with 40 or 50 gold chains around his neck.
That's great.
And John says that Mr. T won a competition for bouncing, and then Disco throws in his answer of boner. Sorry, autocorrect. Did you mean to say hard-on instead? Penis?
Either way, it's funny.
We are an adult show, guys, as you saw in the chat rules, as well as when you first watched the channel. So we use adult language. We're not going to be offended if you put the word dick in the chat. Like, depending what is surrounded by.
Isn't that's our guest today.
That's true. Hey, Dick. Don't put him in the chat. He'll put himself in the chat.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
No, Richard.
No.
What I don't understand is how do you get Dick from Richard?
I don't know where that came from either.
It's a mystery to me too.
It's
a mystery to me too.
I have no idea if Pablo's still alive. He never calls me, so I have no idea. It's
one of those friendships, right?
It's like getting Hank from
Harold.
Henry.
Or is it Henry?
Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, or when you get Jake from
State Farm.
John.
Yeah. Oh, Jake from State Farm.
He gets around.
Oh my God.
I do look like Al Capone, and I'd show you my machine gun, but it's in the other room.
Wah. I'm listening to you, Andrea, even if nobody else is.
I got it. It's all good.
I got you back. Don't worry.
Wait, who looks like Al Capone? Is it me?
Probably.
Do you have anything in your closet? You know, what was that? Geraldo Rivera? Yeah. Shh.
Probably something
skeletons, right? Yeah.
Something better than he found in that vault, that's for sure. So
there was dirt in it. Come on.
Not the kind of dirt they were hoping for.
No.
You guys, Andrea?
Wow.
Oh.
No, I'm just reading.
Yeah.
The comments.
Anything good?
No, I'm like, Skipper says you asked nicely. What? Oh, how do you get Dick from Richard? Never mind.
$20 is $20.
It took me a minute because of the delay.
Mm-hmm. That is, they use that line in one of the Robin comics. You know, Batman's sidekick, Dick Grayson. There was one point in time, one of the other characters in the comic asked him, how do you get Dick from Richard? And he replied with, you asked nicely. Yeah, it's
that's terrible.
Great.
That's terrible.
Or not.
That's funny. Oh
so you guys asked earlier what we'd been doing this week. What are you guys doing next week? What are we looking forward to? Anything?
The show-wise? or real life wise?
No, life-wise.
Oh.
What do I got next week? Well, my son gets out of school for the summer tomorrow.
Nice.
So I'll have him for a week, and this is when the custody agreement goes 1 week here, 1 week at his mother's. So I'll have him here. So there'll probably be some gaming going on. Definitely some watching of Star Wars Rebels Season 3. Then, of course, we do have the shows 4 days a week. So that's, I probably have to stack my wood, if you know what I mean. And I might take my son out back with the 22 and do some target practice.
Dang, $20
That
is $20.
sounds really bad. He's not the target, guys.
Oh, he's little William Tell action there.
Fire at his feet and teach him how to dance.
What about you, Richard? What's up with you this week? Next week?
Well, I'm looking forward to a couple of films that have come out. I went to see. I'm going to go see. God, what was it called?
Incredibles.
Hotel Artemis.
Oh, I want to see that. That looks good.
Hotel Artemis.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I've kind of read the synopsis. And I'm kind of getting hard to please with films now. I think as you get old, you get to the point where you get hard to shock. But Hotel Artemis looks good. I might come up with a little review for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It looks awesome.
Can I read some comments, or do we want to just talk over this stuff for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. Read comments.
And I'm going to address them here directly in a moment. Narc says, stupid Americans, autocorrect meant Indians. Then Disco says, posted a YouTube video that I'm not clicking on, says it's my country news in YouTube, but Kazakhstan version. And then Narc says, why you make children's in this hell world? Narc, I have one. He's 15. I don't encourage anybody else to make more. And I never made more. So, no, I think it's a horrible idea to have kids nowadays, especially the stupid people that amuse themselves by, like, just spamming other people's channels without actually taking part of the actual content. So these are the kind of idiots that I go, don't breed.
I think there's, if you zoom back from the world and you look at the world as a whole, and you go, this is crap. Why would I want to bring somebody in there? My daughter was born 2 months after 9/11, and there was a lot of those kind of feelings. But I think when you zoom in closer and you look at people and at a closer level, there's great things in this world, and there is amazing things going on in this world. But yeah, it's easy to look at a big picture and go, on average, this sucks.
Well, I see many people who don't raise their children. They have children, but they're not raising them. They're not teaching them the basic skills to exist in our society. And also, anything to encourage discourage the population growth. Just if one person listens to me, it's one less person flooding the earth until we get our shit straight and can actually feed ourselves, act as a global community without trying to kill one another. Skipper, you're off to Binghamton, New York with your dinosaurs next week. I put a video up in VIP for you, Jay. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I haven't checked since I posted. But
and it pertains to traveling with your dinosaurs.
It does. Your surface dinosaur.
I'm gonna have to look into that because that sounds fascinating.
It's great.
Skipper brings dinosaurs to conventions. I mean, he's got like the full bodysuit Velociraptor as well as small automated ones and hand puppet ones. And he calls them his service dinosaurs. He'll even get the little jacket for them. So this video is very much related to him.
Yes.
Service dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He does it at our party that we had a couple months ago. He showed up and his wife was dressed in a dinosaur onesie with dinosaur foot Crocs on, and he was dressed as a dinosaur handler, and he had his puppet. And when you put your puppet up here, it has the fake arm continuing, so it looks like the hand is still holding it. And it is pretty good. It's fun.
And I met him because of his dinosaurs at Contemporary in North Carolina. Was it North Carolina or South Carolina?
North.
North Carolina, yeah. Dinosaurs. They're great.
So, question along that line: you guys are all in the steampunk communities. When you go to these cons, do you cosplay? Do you dress up and have?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I dress up for anything. Yeah.
I love dressing up.
Yeah, $20 is $20, right?
Exactly, $20 is $20.
Yeah.
But
I've
yeah,
just started getting into that with the gaming and the the fantasy stuff, and I built a costume last year for not last year, 2 years ago for my daughter, going to a retro gaming con. I made her a Shovel Knight costume. Now, Shovel Knight is a blue armored knight who has a big shovel, and it's a video game.
And we're about to go on a break too.
Awesome. I was just saying that. I was just curious about that with you guys.
And we could talk about that more when we get back, as well as I can decide to answer these guys' questions also. So let's see here. And Skipper 2, let's pop over here to a refill break. Let me get top off my glass, and we'll be back in a minute here. Hey, Richard, Daniel, do me a favor. With your mouse, click on your Skype screen and just click that microphone icon one time, please. There we go. Okay.
I could wear these to cover my chocolate starfish.
Talk the Tavern. Here you're always welcome.
I thought she had a great pair, so I decided to felt them. I gotta show that part. Okay, so here's a product that's popular. It's for real, a little tiger kitty and a little chicken. See, people coming around have to be careful. But I want to just point out that they have that picture in there, right there. And is it just me? Or is that pussy totally devouring that little teeny cock? Because once it decided, yeah, it does.
Pussy illy, what it in Amazon, Texas kitty, city billy, poppin' pilly, smoking like a swoosh, lick this feeling, mold them, soak them, hook them like crack.
You know the hardest part of doing these videos is all the little kids that are stalking me here and coming around when I'm trying to say something filthy and horrible. Oh look, it's little live pets. Little live pets. That's so much better than what I had in my day where we had to play with the dead pets. My balls are kind of odd shaped. Here, look.
Shot, molten eye, never drive, there should be outlaw, homie pie. Pussy, the illest on the planet, better play your cards right, Mississippi. If you wanna hang here, right, no panic. Never not bad, lost your planet. Never not bad, lost your bed.
So it's a strap-on unicorn horn for those who are feeling horny, and it's called One Love. What the hell are we selling our little girls? Pirate's booty. That's good shit. Right below it, these nuts. Look. It's Pop Fizz Doodle. I had that once after a heavy night of drinking. PowerCore Max. Performance lining provides ventilation and coverage. Adjustable straps, hook and eye closure for customized fit. Maximum support, boobs. And over here we have Disney princesses for a new lower price, and there's pregnant Ariel. Something fishy about that.
I do it right with drugs, understand it. I do it right now, please don't
That should be good. You know what I really want for lunch?
What?
I really want a big dish of chicken flingers. So I've heard Batman needs Viagra. Check it out.
He's a little floppy.
You know what I want for lunch? I really want a big dish of flamingo poppers.
Once you start, you can't stop popping.
What?
My balls have ears.
You know, I dare. I'm gonna dare you to do something. I dare you to doodle on the floor. Her balls have ears. You know what I really want?
What?
To get a punch-a-ball critter. So when I used to be a stripper, this is something I used to be able to do. That's right. Walking World Monster. Musical beats. You know what I really want? A big-headed unicorn.
No.
With toilet paper stuck on.
You're on mute, Travis.
That's funny. I don't think I had myself muted originally then. I'm going to answer a few questions before we get rolling, but we're back with the third hour of Talk of the Tavern. Skipper, go to post a link to that Facebook page if you like, buddy. Now to answer, since we're got a free day here, guys, we could go anywhere. I'll answer Nark's question. Question is, Asians eat dogs. What is your opinion about it? I think
My favorite part of the buffet.
I think people eat meat. And there you go. Anybody got a different opinion? Go ahead.
You're on mute.
Unmute yourself.
French people eat horses.
Did you press the microphone icon in Skype there, Daniel? Oh, is it muted there too?
Broke it. Oh, it might be like mine if you hit the button.
No. We'll come back to Daniel in a second when we suddenly hear
So what
the
were you
dulcet
saying, Richard?
tones.
Something about horses?
Yeah, people eat all sorts of things. Horse meat is the big seller in France. At least it was. It used to be. I'm not just sure how much of it they eat now, but horse meat you could buy it in any butchers. Australians eat alligators.
Yeah, I've never had that.
And Disco asks, what do you think about my country laws? For 1 gram of weed, you can get 8 years of jail. I think I don't live in your country, so I'm not worried about your country's laws on weed. But if you're unhappy about it, go petition, get it changed, or live somewhere else. What about you guys? What do you think?
Don't put yourself in the position to go to jail for 8 years. Or, like you said, do something about it.
Yeah, it's harsh, but it's the structure in which you've got to live.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you think 1 gram of weed is worth 8 years in jail, have at it. Personally, I wouldn't do it.
The Narc asks, how do you teleport from shop to home in 2 minutes? It's if you go below, you'll see a bunch of my books all about portal travel. So check them out, and then you'll understand a little more about it. Just buy one of those books from Amazon. It's Daniel, still struggling through it, buddy? Disco, no, I don't smoke weed.
No.
I smoke pipes, I smoke cigars, and don't smoke cigarettes or weed or crack or your mom.
I don't know about your mom.
Anything?
Yay, there you are.
Yay,
now
he's
Daniel
back.
has
There you
opinions.
go.
We know that. What do you have to say, Daniel? We'll let
Okay,
you talk.
go ahead. We just didn't hear it.
What did I say? Crap.
I can repeat the questions. Were you talking about Asians and dogs or the laws?
Oh, yeah, I did. I mentioned I've had dog before, and it wasn't that great.
What kind?
Was it a little rough?
You know. Yeah. So I think people eat what they're going to eat. What did I say earlier when we were talking about gaming? I said, something is food for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Even us, And is it morally incorrect?
Last night.
Okay. I set that up, so, but people are going to, it's the same thing with like insects and the bizarre things that people eat. It's, it's lighting up on it. It's something they like. So,
well, people eat
give 'em a break.
eggs and oysters and stuff.
Anything, there's food out there. But I've been real explorational with food, and I've long since decided that I'm not going to judge it till I've tried it. And I've eaten some pretty bizarre stuff.
What about the tarantula burger? Have you heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of it and I've seen it. I would try it if I was presented with one, you bet.
I wouldn't try it just because they're not like, oh, it's a great new flavor. They're like, hey, it's something really weird.
I would try it. Guarantee it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in North Carolina. It's not that far of a drive for you there, Richard.
Might even have to make the trip.
There you go.
I'll
Make sure
try.
you video it.
Oh yeah.
Well, spiders like a tavern.
So what does it have in it? I mean, presumably it's got a tarantula in it somewhere.
Well,
Correct.
no, it's a hamburger with a tarantula on top of it.
Just plopped on top. Yeah.
Deep fried, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it dead?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not alive.
I might have to eat it with my eyes shut, because it's one of the few things I'm really scared of is spiders.
Ah.
Oh, well, you'll show that spider.
That's not because I don't want to eat them, it's just I don't want to see them. So,
Gipper says no way.
yeah, I'll give it a shot. There's a few things I've eaten that I probably wouldn't try again, but no, I'll definitely give it a shot. People eat anything. My wife went through a stage where she would find stuff and see if she could get me to eat it. She found honey, where did you find those chocolate-covered bugs?
Oh, I've had those. They're
What,
okay.
crickets? Yeah, chocolate-covered crickets. She tried to get me to eat stuff like that. And,
You're British. Some of the food over there is weird. So, well, we would find it weird, I guess.
British food is a lot of British food is poor people's food, and it might sound odd, but it has a lot in common with Southern cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It's the parts of the animal that are left when the rich people have taken all the good cuts, like oxtail. You know,
right?
I don't know if any of you ever eaten oxtail.
I have in Cuban food.
It is hands down the glossiest, most tender part of a cow that I think you can eat. It
Good
really
stuff.
is good.
I've never
There's a
had
lot of bone in it.
Yeah, there is.
it. Is there? I thought it was all cartilage. It's a tail.
Yeah, it's a tail.
There's
I
both.
mean, you don't put it all in the pot like a big curled up snake. It's cut into slices.
Vertebrae.
But yeah, it has the vertebral bones in it.
Oh, I thought it was just cartilage. Well,
No,
there you
but
go.
it's very fine meat. It's just it comes with a lot of bone.
And okay, a few more comments here. Kennedy says, by the way, Kennedy, you said literally just a pella. I don't know what that means. But you also said, just talking to my coworkers about food, guys from China and India. Skipper says, I have a history with several spiders who tried to kill me. We have heard a few of those stories. And then we have more crazy questions from our visitors.
I'm just going to say, Richard, I'm putting the link to the tarantula burger thing in North Carolina. I'm putting it in the Skype chat, so you can check that out.
Absolutely. Next time I'm down there, I'll give it a shot.
Do you want more crazy questions, or we talk about things?
It don't matter.
They're amusing themselves. Dan, you still got sound, man?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's just quiet.
I'm just listening away, waiting for a subject. You said that they had questions,
Narco,
so I was waiting for a question.
Narco, calm your tits, buddy. It's we saw the question the first time, and I will answer it. So there you go. But we're gonna
It's
start.
not
with that
all
question
about you,
first.
man.
That's right. So Narco first asked, "Do you read the Bible?" But then Disco asked a few lines later, "What do you think about Satanism?" Yes, I have read the Bible. I have 7 different versions in the other room. I have a degree in religion, and there's that. As for Satanism, it's another religion. It's just another offshoot of Christianity, which is odd because Satan's not really in the Bible. There's no devil in the Bible. There's tempters, and there's revelations, but there you go. Gentlemen, ma'am, what do you guys think?
I love a good fiction book.
Have you read it?
I've read it.
Both of them, yeah. Yeah, of course.
So, and what do you think about Satanism?
It's like you said, it's another religion. I don't believe it either, but that's me. That's my opinion.
Andrew? Oh, Richard? Either?
Go ahead, Richard.
I've read the Bible. I've read quite a few of the religious texts. I've read parts of the Quran. I've read the I Ching.
Mm-hmm.
And to talk about them all on the same level, as far as I'm concerned, as a moral compass, they're very helpful.
Very true.
Well, they could be very helpful.
Yep.
As works of historic fact, I have to say that I don't think any of the religious texts are factual in any way.
I believe they have pieces of
moral
history
guidance,
stuck in them, but they're not,
yeah, they may have
accurate.
pieces of history stuck in them, but I think the point of them is not really as historical texts. I think the point of them, as written, is as moral guidance.
I agree.
And in that way, there's good and bad. You'd hope that all religions are based on the premise that you're trying to improve people's outlook towards other people.
Very true.
That may not always come across in whichever part of the text you read. As far as Satanism is concerned, like you say, Satan never appears in the Bible. He's hinted at in the book of Revelations. If you read a lot of what satanic believers will tell you, that it's really more of a self-centered view on life than it is about any kind of devil worship.
Correct.
It depends if you view Satanism as practiced by modern Satanists, like the people who are trying to get the big statue up in Arkansas, just as a statement that all religions should be accepted, or whether you see it as some legacy from the 60s and you imagine Anton LaVey in a red cloak and all the rest of it,
right.
which to my mind is pure theater.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Andrew? You got some thoughts on these before I go to the next wonderful question?
Well, I've read several versions of the Bible, like Richard, different religious texts, and I've read the Satanic Bible. It's all what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the next awesome question. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew, what?
Go ahead.
I think the one that stands out apart, not that it may be any more or less relevant than any of the others, are the Buddhist texts, because Buddhism, it's philosophy. If you look into it, it's not really a religion as much as a philosophy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is a mystical element to it, as there is in any kind of how can I put it? I mean, let's face it, it is a religion. I think the mysticism was brought in the Middle Ages to try and use as metaphor to explain certain concepts, but at its
like
heart,
fairy
it's
tales.
not. Right. Yeah, but at its heart, it's a very realistic concept. It doesn't deal with anything that. It doesn't deal with anything spiritual or supernatural. It's purely just a way of thinking, a philosophy.
But I think the way you put it as these are texts for moral compass, that's my feeling is, the philosophies in there, do unto others, all that kind of thing is the important part of those religions.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, but the mysticism, do I believe that there's a power out here, that created us, that's guiding us, mystical power? No, I don't go that way.
Okay. I'm going to jump ahead to a comment that John just dropped here. Kennedy, I have not ignored all yours. We will get to that. I'm just trying to keep it in order for our music. But John says we should start fuckitism. I can go with that.
Fuckism.
It's the next awesome question is hold on, let me scroll up a moment here. What do you think about sexual intercourse with relatives? Well, I wouldn't fuck any of mine, that's for sure, but what two consenting adults do is you're not breeding inbreds.
Well, you didn't say whose relatives.
That's true.
I think it's great to fuck other people's relatives.
Gentlemen?
But Travis, your mom says hi, by the way. Now, there are actually genetic proof that close relatives, any offspring, tend to have the
downside
chance, the higher chance to screw up the genetics. That's just the way we are. Morally, I'm against it because of all those. It's just weird. I've had cousins and stuff that I looked at and went, "Whoa, she's hot," but yeah, I don't know. It's not the way I was raised.
That's how they did it in royalty.
That's true.
But I'm not royalty, so.
Yeah, but look at them.
Yeah. Would this be the wrong time to bring up the $20 is $20 sale?
No, it's never the wrong time.
So, Richard, any feedback or thoughts on that question?
I wouldn't recommend. I have not tried it. I have no desire to. There aren't too many photographs of my relatives on my webpage, and there was a damn good reason for that. They are not photogenic.
Now, Kennedy,
But,
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Kennedy.
This is what happens when you. This is. I've lost my train of thought. As you were, Travis. Carry on.
There you go. You could interject inbreeding in a bit. Kennedy had quite a few comments that I'm going to read down. Says, I don't care much for the Filipino oxtail dish kari kari, which has peanut butter-based sauce, but I've eaten balut, which is fertilized egg.
I have.
Concurs with Richard on religious views and thinks Jesus is tempted after his fast. And that's true. That's why I said there are tempters. The serpent after Jesus' fast, but it never specifically says what that temptation is. That could have been an angel. It could have been God.
Could have been bread.
Could have been a Snickers bar,
Pie.
That would be tempting to me. It's Skipper says mutts are typically handier than purebreds. I agree. Go take care of your customers, John. And then the next fun question. Actually, there's two questions. One from Disco, both from Disco. So I'm going to go and read them together. What ideology is better, fascism or communism? And then also later said it's very bad to call. I think he meant to type, is it very bad to call America capitalist hell? Should I start or somebody else want to go first?
Wow.
So fascism,
go ahead.
communism, and America capitalist hell. America is a capitalist state almost before it's a democratic republic a lot of times. Capitalism has pros and cons, and the same with fascism, communism, democracies. They're all beautiful ideas in their pure form. Even a dictatorship causes forward movement in a country. But in execution, once you start involving people, democracies bog down, communisms fall apart, and dictatorships get overthrown. Government is government. They're run by people.
I think it's all good to a certain point. But people want to push it past that point where it gets corrupt and messed up.
I think that's with any form of government like that. Like you said, it gets corrupted, it gets bent. Them in an isolated vacuum some of them are great plans. But the execution, like you said, it does not ever come out in its pure form for very long. Because we are people. You can't, to be communistic or you have to be, what do I want to say? Less self-centered. And we as creatures don't tend to be that, to whatever negative level. The world revolves around us. Well, we look through our eyes, and it's hard to look through somebody else's. So these things don't stay together for very long.
Mm.
Richard?
Absolutely, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher once said that the trouble with communism is that eventually you run out of other people's money to spend. One of the things I think caused the collapse of the Soviet Union, which is, other than, let's say, China, is probably the longest lasting quasi-communist socialist state, is the fact that the leaders were trying to run it as a closed system. Right. And they're trying to run an infinite society with a finite resource. To have a system that is so rigid, it has to be closed off, and without input from the outside world, it cannot survive, economically or socially.
Yep. And
it doesn't take into account human nature either. The nature of humans is not to be all on one level.
Yeah, that's why I say in its pure form, a lot of these are very beautiful concepts. But in practice, for all the reasons you're stating, no, they don't work well. Not in the long run. Not once you've hit second, third generation.
Oh, and my comment on is America capitalist hell?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's capitalist heaven. I mean, this is the country
you think so, because small businesses are struggling against these giants. So is it heaven for capitalism?
But you know what? You know what? Those giants started as small companies
50 years ago or more.
Right.
So
they don't have a right to become huge.
Well, they do. I'm not arguing.
I mean,
that, but
is it the American dream? But we have to put a lid on it.
No, not at all.
No, and I think it's hard to come up in that atmosphere as a small company to expand under that, because you got your Walmarts and your Amazons and all these people that are easy to do, and you're trying to do it as a small company. Yeah, it's tougher. I mean, so I guess in that case, it could be capitalist hell.
Oh,
but
capitalism.
It's all perspective.
Narco and Disco, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get more stupid questions answered with intelligent answers. And also throw bits, because we're capitalists and we want your damn money.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Here.
Yeah, this stuff isn't for free here.
No,
you got to pay for it somehow.
Ellen and Jimmy Fallon. These are the people I'm competing with on my show. So
exactly. And they're all the same level,
Right, and we're not.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Kennedy, is this better now? Is it coming through better? Do I have less echo or no echo? Let me know about that. Kennedy says, plus all the various communist places spend huge resources on controlling people. More questions about the twins here is, do you believe in Jesus? And then the other one asks, have you read Mein Kampf? We forced by government to read this book in schools. I want to start with Mein Kampf. I have not read it.
Me neither.
No.
I'm not even sure. Is it available in this country?
I don't know. It might be banned. That would be.
I believe in Germany it is banned, or at least not published.
Though, just to see, what is this? Just like I'd read Helen Keller's diary. It's a historical point of view from one person. And Andrew, have you read it? Would you read it?
Is it translated into English? Because
oh yeah, easily. Yeah.
Because I read some French, but that's about it. So, just saying.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I think everybody should read The Prince, Machiavelli's The Prince.
Kennedy, the person who said that it's required is either Lithuania or Kazakhstan. I don't remember which one said they're from which. But I wouldn't expect too much backup on there. So Kennedy has read it, and so has Skipper, by the way. And Daniel, I interrupted you. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was saying I've read through it, bits and pieces, kind of dipped my feet in it one time when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it didn't strike me as a great philosophy, and I didn't dig deeper. But a book that I do recommend to the people that were saying, did you read Mein Kampf? Is read The Prince by Machiavelli.
Oh, yeah.
Have you read it?
No, I have not. Well, like quotes here and there, passages here and there, but not the book, no. Machiavelli was just an interesting philosophizer in many, many ways.
And then The Art of War, which is another one that I think people should look at. Just
I think I still have
information.
I have it on my library shelf in there. Yes, I do. So as for do we believe in Jesus? Well, considering our statement,
do you believe in magic?
I believe in magic. I also believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them
define magic.
I believe I can fly.
I think Richard is about to break into song here.
I'm waiting for it.
I was quoting Whitney Houston, by the way. Children are. So you
I was just playing on the question.
Oh, okay.
But then again, they kind of go hand in hand, because wasn't Jesus portrayed as a magic man?
He was a magic man. But as for I believe it's possible this man existed, but considering the changes he supposedly made during the Roman era, you think there would be literature documenting the existence. And though some researchers have said, we have found things that say he probably existed, they have no definitive proof. So he could be what most of Christianity, which is a collection of stories and amalgamations of philosophies and thought, put into a storybook form, thus giving you a figure to focus on.
I think the question is a little vague. I think that the question, do you believe in Jesus? You can look at it two ways. Do you believe that there may have been an influential social leader by the name of Jesus in that time? Quite possibly, yeah. Do you believe in the whole thing about the walking on the water and the bread into wine and all the rest of it? That's an entirely different question.
It is. I would love for that stuff to be true, though. Turning a staff into a snake like Moses, or parting the waters, or the miracles Jesus performed in his stories. Because
it's called being a doctor and a magician. I'm serious.
Well, if you could do both now, I would love for these sort of things to be able to happen with modern physics. Causality being a single person willing it to happen. So.
Well, and everybody's answering because I'm assuming he's asking about Jesus, the biblical figure, not Jesus who works down the street at the Mexican restaurant.
That's true.
Because I do believe in him.
I believe he makes.
I believe in Jesus.
That's right. Kennedy is playing along with the home game, kind of agreeing and talking about the same things we're talking about. Skipper says he's read those books, Mein Kampf and Art of War, before his brain got scrambled. Kennedy says, my story, all new fiction is banned, but classic literature is required, so a well-read society where fiction is smuggled. Children are an investment in our future. You never know when you might need a spare kidney. Fair point. But hopefully with genetic engineering and whatnot that we're going on and growing with stem cells, we could start bypassing the middleman and not needing to change diapers and deal with screaming kids in restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm so bitter. Sorry, Daniel, because you have kids and I have kids.
No. We get it. We get it. We understand it.
We understand it better.
We are living that experience.
The ones that won't joke about it like this are the ones that don't have kids. So it's all right.
Yeah. I don't have kids.
We earlier we talked about strange foods, and you just talked about cloning and GMO, all this science stuff. They're actually able to. I watched a documentary, and they taste tested it. They were able to test tube grow meat.
Oh God!
And would you try it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, try it.
I would ask you to inject with chemicals first, and I'm not talking about vitamins and nutrients. I'm talking about, if it's a chemically enhanced thing, then I might be cautious.
Well, I think it's, from what I could understand,
pretty pure, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. When the report, it's just grown cells.
Right.
It's a pattern of cells structure that's grown on a matrix, and there you go. Here's a chunk of meat. It holds exactly the same molecules, and nutrients, and things like that.
Would they fry it first?
Well, they made hamburgers out of it.
Yeah, we're in America. Something's getting fried.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't try it raw.
No.
No. I probably would actually. I'll experience that.
I'd be curious about the texture. Whereas burger's already ground up, so the texture is going to be.
Well, from the taste test that they had on the show, and I wish I could quote what show it was, so I can't remember. But I know what it was. It was Bill Nye Saves the World.
Okay, well
look it up.
That in the list.
Funny.
Oh yeah, we have that.
There you go. But yeah, they were taste testing it. They were saying it tastes exactly like the other hamburger, and the people couldn't tell the difference.
Okay.
I suppose if you look at it as just a collection of cells, I mean, meat is meat. I mean, personally, it's a cultural thing, but I would be more likely to try a petri dish grown cyber burger than I would go to a Southeast Asian country and try dog. But when you look at it on the nutritional level, meat is meat. The only difference is the diet of the animal before it was killed for food. You know, beef comes from beef is a muscle off an animal that ate grass. Dog is a muscle off an animal that ate
Have a good one,
whatever
Kennedy.
its owner gave it or whatever.
Have a good one, Kennedy. Enjoy your writing group. Kennedy's
Bye,
bailing.
Kennedy.
I just want to say goodbye to him. Skipper, we'll get
Well-
to your comment in a moment.
So none of you guys are like vegans or vegetarians or any of those.
No,
Are
I
you?
don't have an issue with it either if somebody wants to do that. I mean, I'll joke about it, but I'll joke about a well-done steak, too. So.
Yeah. No, I was wondering if you were vegan and presented with science-created meat that did not come from a living organism, would you eat that?
Here's the thing. I know people that are vegan and vegetarian because of medical reasons. And, I was a vegetarian for a while. I just, it's that phase. With this meat, talking about a vegan or vegetarian eating this, if it's made like regular meat, that can make them really sick.
That's true.
Well, I mean, if it's a medical issue, yeah. If it's a medical
I mean, not medical, but, I didn't have a medical issue. I just didn't eat meat for years. And then I ate a hamburger, and it made me very ill.
It messes with your intestines when you first reintroduce that to your system. I think it depends on the reason that they
So would
are
it cause
vegetarian
that?
or vegan. Is it a physical reason or is it a moral reason? And if it's a moral
Well, I
reason...
think, exactly. I mean, but would that fix your moral disposition of I don't want to kill an animal?
I think it
should. I can eat this substance. I think
For some it might.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
By the
just
way,
curious.
Before his comment goes away, Skipper also said, "My life changed forever when I witnessed the second coming of Jesus. I'm never watching Mexican porn again."
Oh, that's fabulous.
There you go. Wait.
Ask him to post the link.
Post the link.
Of course.
I want to see if I worked with this guy at the Mexican restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, Kennedy liked it so much he threw bits.
Before he left,
Yeah.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
While we're on the subject of food, what is hands down the single most repulsive thing that you have ever eaten?
You want her name?
Food or non-food?
I was gonna. Oh man, you got it before I did.
I should have seen that coming.
You should have seen her coming.
Well, if you don't close your eyes, you will.
Oh God.
So anyhow, let's see here. I don't know. I've had a lot of things, but I don't.
I want.
Mhm.
I can answer this.
Go ahead.
It's just something I would. Usually, I'll try something again. Pig's brains. Nope. I had it once. That was the most disgusting thing.
But you choked it down. You ate some.
I did, but I won't do it again. It's
Good for you.
very bitter and grainy. No. That was no.
Nocto, so fermented soybeans.
You know what I think?
It tastes like drain cleaner.
Jesus.
When's the last time you had drain cleaner?
When I had Nocto, actually, no, it tastes like drain cleaner smells.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I'm just putting A to B equals C, but it's nasty. Oh.
Like a really chemically spirity. Yeah.
I've never had that.
What about you, Rick?
Balut was not good.
What's balut?
It's a duck embryo in an egg, and it's boiled or steamed.
Right.
And it's the body is in there with all the feathers. Yeah, no.
With the feathers on it.
Yes.
The forming pin feathers that a duckling would have just before being hatched. So with the boiling or steaming, it makes it very soft, so the bones are now chewable.
All right, so you don't have to pick the bones out of it or anything.
No, because they're that, yeah.
And why was that so horrible? Was it the taste, or was it just the thought of eating it?
No, it was the taste. It was the taste. It wasn't the thought, because I don't care about baby ducks. I mean, I eat eggs all the time, but it was exactly. But it just tasted like a wet duck. I mean.
I remember eating my first wet duck. Little legs are going in the air.
Oh, God. Oh, well, dear. Back in the day.
What about you, Richard?
So,
me, food-wise, cool. One thing that I've eaten some weird shit, and I'll pretty much eat almost anything. Two things I will probably never eat again. One is fava beans.
Okay.
Those little, we call them broad beans in Britain. And it's not the taste. They look like dead people's toes. They're shaped like a big toe, and they're grey, and they're just horrible.
Oh.
And the other thing is pork that wasn't castrated in time.
Was it bitter?
So the hormones get built up in the muscle. The adrenaline builds up when they don't castrate them and kill them quick enough. Builds up in the meat, and it is nasty. I can't describe the taste, but it's awful, and you can smell it. Even before you start to cook it, you can smell this horrible musky smell coming off it.
So next time I go to the butcher, I'll say, when was its penis cut back or not?
Yeah.
It's to check. Yeah.
Ask for one where they've shot it in the head before they cut its balls off.
Awesome.
There you go.
I'll make a note. And my wife, who's British heritage, those broad beans, yes, she's like, that's the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah.
I have to Google that.
I've eaten some shady shit.
No.
When I was 3, I ate dog turd. When dogs get old and the calcium starts to leach out their bones, and their poo goes white.
Yes.
Well, I used to pick them up and eat them. I was only 2 or 3 at the time, and it wasn't a regular thing, but I'd pick one up and snack on them.
Are you
So it's not
serious?
like I'm a fussy eater. Yeah, straight up. So it's not like I'm a fussy eater. I don't do it now.
No.
You're a shitty eater, actually.
Your dog's much younger now. It doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It's still soft.
I'm sorry. I would have to admit I have never eaten dog shit in my life.
Well, it's probably not the worst thing I ate, but it is the one I remember being smacked hardest for.
Reasonable. It's
Yeah. I would slap my kid pretty hard if they were eating dog shit. I
Eating
think.
a dog turd,
Yeah.
I distinctly remember picking it up, and they're kind of crusty on the outside because they've been in the sun.
God,
But you break it open, and the smell's enough to knock you over.
And yet you still stuck it in your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was 3, Kids stick anything in their mouths when they're 3.
My mother would often describe times that I came to her and said things like, "Mom, don't eat worms. They taste terrible." Or, "Mom, don't put a slug in your mouth." And now, Oregon, we have slugs. We have slugs like this. Okay?
Oh, God.
Big banana slugs. Yeah, no. Just
One thing my dad showed me is back to fishing, angling. In Britain, we use maggots as bait.
Yeah.
And you can buy them by the pint. You go into the fishing tackle shops. I can have a pint of maggots, and it'll be like a buck.
Now, are you
and it'll
talking
scoop me out.
insect larvae, or are you talking about maggots that are only like less than a centimeter long?
Maggots. Little insect, like little housefly larvae is what they are.
I just don't know how you get that on your hook.
small hook.
Very, very small hook, size 18 hooks. A tiny, tiny little thing, about the size of a
minnows.
Sesame seed. Yeah, English fish aren't very big. They've got very small mouths, roach.
Okay.
Well, the thing about maggots is, one, fish like them. Two, they wriggle on the hook to attract the fish. Well, when it's cold, maggots being cold-blooded, they don't move around so much. So to warm them up just before you put them on the hook, my dad taught me, you get 3 or 4, Put them behind your bottom lip. Warm them up. Like a wad of chewing tobacco.
So how often did you get home and realize, oh crap, I forgot one in there?
Oh,
when he went on the lawn to pick up dog poo.
And the maggot went,
Yeah. You got to clear the maggots out of your mouth before you eat the dog poo. That's life.
Never meets dog poo and maggots. It's horrible.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good life instruction right there.
Hey, a quick shout out here to our new follower here. Welcome to the tavern, Keem Star HD. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
It's a free day. We're talking about all kinds of ridiculous stuff and whatnot, so feel free to do it. And Narco, as for your last comment, it's a statement. So there you go. That's why I didn't answer it before.
I didn't see that many pictures.
Yeah, I know. By the way, the comment for you. Oh, Panda, thank you for joining us. Let's see. Money is controlling the government's media in the world. Hence, we're living in a pseudo-freedom world. Absolutely. But in any larger society, it's where the society has to start to take precedence over the individual, as much as that annoys the hell out of me. For society to function, the individuals have to take care of it. So yeah, it's a pseudo-freedom world. You give up certain freedoms in your life so the government makes your roads, protects you, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got some thoughts on this?
I think sometimes the government can protect us from each other.
Mm.
I mean, if you really take individual license to its absolute extreme, if government just disappeared and there was no organisation, no social structure, no nothing, people would be dead within 2 generations. The human race would wipe itself out because it would just become so competitive and selfish.
Yeah. I mean, societies would immediately start to reestablish, whether it's the 5 houses collected together or whether it's the whole.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of times you have to give up freedoms, quote unquote freedoms, to be more secure.
Right.
We have to have a police force that has the right to stop us, check our ID. Well, that's giving up freedoms for security.
It is.
Okay, they can. All of that can go overboard or be reasonable.
It has in some cases.
Exactly, and it does. But I think the more secure we want to be, the more of those freedoms we have to give up. But yes, there's a balance. Do we want to be in a dictatorship where we're told this is the religion you're going to have? Do not speak out over the government. I mean, as we've seen these countries in the world. And, are we free? Maybe not. When you cut it apart, we've given up those freedoms and to make a more free society. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Panda adds. This might give you
freedom's not really. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This might give you more to add in your thought here, Richard. Panda adds, but the rich control the government, and hence they do not work in our favor. By the way, there's a U in it, so I'm guessing this might be another overseas person. But so they don't work in our favor, but being rich themselves. And then Panda says, because humans are fucking naive. I don't think you're going to get argument from us on this one, but might have some thoughts. Richard, you want to go on with your previous thought on this?
Well, freedom is it's kind of not really a black and white thing. It's not as if you are either free or you're in chains. It's very much a sliding scale. And I think people need to decide what kind of freedoms they want.
Yeah.
They need to decide whether they want to be free to become as rich as they can, regardless of its impact on anybody else, or whether they want some control. Because let's face it, unbridled capitalism doesn't work in anybody's favour. In the same way that unbridled communism clearly doesn't work in anybody's favour.
Right.
I think government's role in a society is at the moment, it's the role that they're taking is to try and control. Whereas I think the role they need to be taking is a bit more of a referee. To let society do what it's going to do. But when it gets to the point where people are taking the gloves off, just step in and say, well, maybe we do need some barriers here. Maybe we do need some control.
And Andrea, you look like you might have had a thought on this.
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
Nope, absolutely not.
I'm just reading what these people are putting because, you know.
Okay, so Panda says, media says Kim and Trump talked about denuclearization. Do you really believe the media? Sure, I believe that's what the media was told. That's what they reported. As for what's really going to happen, you could look at history and, yeah, Kim has said, or Kim's father has said, they're going to stop before multiple times. How's that work out? So if you go with the track record, you see where you should put your money. But do we hope it might actually happen? Absolutely. I'd be happy if every country, including our own. You gotta go ahead, Daniel. Yeah.
Bullshit detected. Take precaution.
There we go.
Bullshit detected. Yeah.
Take precautions. It's So yeah, I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see it happen worldwide, including our own missiles. I don't think we need a set of weapons that can destroy our planet. And even if we were the only ones to set off missiles, we would still be fucked. It's a dumbass weapon.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, I'm not going to spend my time fretting over it and worrying about it because what the hell is that going to do?
If I could change it, that'd be a different story. Then it'd be my place to worry about it and fret over it.
Yeah.
You know, best we can do with our current system is vote. And I haven't really seen where that helps over the past 40 years that I've been paying attention.
No. I think the only good thing that we can say is that despite all the threats over the last 40, 50, 60 years that they've had on the Korean Peninsula, nobody's loose one off yet. We can only hope that this dick measuring competition that they seem to be having at the moment will subside without either of them really firing a weapon. Is the best we can hope for. Or they dick. Oh God, I think I'd rather they fired the weapon. I could have gone all night without thinking about that.
But we do know that the news and the papers and channels is being manipulated by the rich people. They own the paper. Absolutely. And papers are very slanted on their view, very left or right, you know, however you want to put it, conservative, liberal, and this is here and overseas.
And a movie that we recently saw that kind of plays into that is Post. It talks about the paper and they print certain things for the readership. So,
well, of course they do. I mean, when it all boils down to it, the only facts that anybody has are those that they've found out for themselves. Everything else is opinion.
And even that is questionable with the research they've done on memory versus what you actually see, your brain creating images that weren't there.
Yeah.
So even that.
Yeah, completely.
Without a videotape of it.
Yeah, without videotape of it or physically being there through the entire discussion. Everything else is opinion. And I think as long as people bear that in mind when they're reading the newspaper or listening to whatever they hear on the radio or on Twitter or wherever, that's fine.
Well, I think too much people are told what their opinions are going to be.
Well, they're happy for it, though.
We accept that, exactly. It's like we watch whatever news channel and they're all skewed to different directions. And it's like, oh, well, that's what my opinion is. It's like, okay, well, look on both sides, look at some other stuff, then form your opinion.
Right.
You know, do not accept your opinion or someone else's as yours. Use your brain. It's analytical.
And like you said, check both sides. Go look at BBC News. Go look at CNN. Go look at Fox News. Read the same article and hear 3 totally different stories about the same topic.
Oh, yeah.
And then put together the commonalities and go, well, this is probably the closest thing to what really the truth is.
Yeah.
That's life. And that's the same thing for when Jimmy, Bobby, and Susie on the playground get together and something happens. That sounds dirty, but you know what I mean.
Well, sometimes
I don't know what you used to get up to in your playground.
Hey, come on. $20 is $20.
$20 is $20.
See, and when they come to you one at a time and you only hear one point of view, you're not getting the whole story.
And also, people are constantly being asked to pick a side, pick one side or another, and it's false dichotomy. 90% of the time, it is a false dichotomy.
Very true.
Yeah, there are different positions, but there's not necessarily. There are rarely only two positions in an argument.
Yeah. Well, because this is what the saying is: there's this side, there's that side, and then there's what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Panda then adds, I just feel that people just need to think and question a bit more, which is exactly what we're saying. We're on the same page here, which I'm loving this conversation, loving the Panda's hanging out, but it's really funny. The trolls have left the building, I think. We're down viewers. They're like, oh, crap, they're not talking about stupid shit anymore. They're
talking about real life, yeah.
But we answered their questions.
Oh, we did.
We did.
We didn't comment on the Bible is like comic book art because...
No, I said comic book set. But that's when I said, I didn't see any pictures.
Yeah, well, I can make comparisons to, any work of fiction to another work of fiction and find similarities and find differences and argue either side. So.
Mm-hmm.
No, Panda, you did not lessen our views. If I understand how you're putting that, no, you just asked for our views.
Not at all.
And you
not
stated
at all.
yours, and it sounds like anybody who is a thinking individual is going to go, well, I think this, but I'm open for something besides what I already know. And
they'll question it, not just take it as fact.
Right.
They'll do their own research. So,
and that's part of questioning it is asking other people their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get different views. Oh, I saw this. I heard this. Anybody, you're taught this in law enforcement and things like that of, that story is going to be different from that story and that person over there who all saw the same event. If you, keep those dialogues open. Don't be ashamed to go, oh, our president did this. This is horrible. What do you think? Or, this meeting over here, what do you think? And being able to take people's points of view and listen to them and then come up with your feelings.
Right.
Well, we did one show, and everybody was discussing this one particular show. And most people had a different way of seeing it. Not everyone saw it the same way. So it's just like this. There's different points of views.
Right. And you're going to take...
And you have to accept that and understand that people have different views, and that's okay.
And you'll even have different views. If you look at your opinion when you were 15 and thought you knew what you were doing versus when you're 20, 25, 35, 50, it changes. Guess your age. Panda wants us to guess your age. I'm going to say you are a 17-year-old girl. I went with gender, too. Anybody else got
How
a guess?
dare you assume the gender?
God, I'd have to read more of her comments. Mid-20s.
Yeah, I think Panda is 24.
Andrew, got a guess?
I'm going to go with 20.
There we go. It's but we value. I have a lot of friends who range from, mid-teens to past 80 because every point of view I can learn something from because there's things I don't see because of where I'm standing in my life. So
yeah, I think the comments on your mid-20s or something, it was just sort of a demographic, not your opinions don't matter because you don't have the experience that somebody in their 50s has.
Right.
No, that wasn't that at all.
No.
At all.
And by the way, the answer is 20-year-old boy. So there you go. And here's the thing. If you've paid attention and you've been aware.
20.
And by the way, you might just be spouting the same shit you watch on CNN or hear from your parents or your friend circle. Or you might be a genuinely thinking person who went and researched it and came up to the conclusion that we did because we do look at both sides. It's in our natures. So either way, we welcome your opinion. Because like I was saying, you might have something we don't.
we're always we're always open to discussion.
Just not argument.
As long as it's a discussion. So. Not an argument.
Yeah, once we're repeating the same shit or running around in circles or just yelling at each other without hearing, we're done. There's no more there.
Well, there's nothing more to be gained from it.
Right. It's
it's just circular rhetoric and yeah.
There you go. Have a good one, Panda. Thanks for stopping in. Make sure you join us Monday nights. That's a blast. 8 p.m. Eastern, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Welcome back, John. Jumped in
Hi,
just
John.
for the closing. I want to talk about what we're doing next week. I know I got a hiccup.
Yeah, what's going on next week?
Okay, so Monday night, we're focusing on Elizabeth the Pickle Lady and doing one pickle, one lady, one beer with our usual tangents. Tuesday, Gabrielle Reel, who runs Radio Reel, one of the stations that was a strong supporter of Sounds and Steam and Talk of the Tavern throughout the years. She'll be joining us. Wednesday, I have a game designer who's designing a couple card games. Don Haywood will be our guest. And then Thursday is kind of another free-for-all, which I know Elizabeth will be on. And I might poke you guys too and see if you're bored. I don't want to.
I'll be here.
I loves me some Elizabeth. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, John, they did. They answered.
I was going to say which one.
Yeah, well, it could have been
question?
Narco or Disco. I assume.
Oh yeah.
I assume they know each other and they're just trolling channels and having a good time. And
which is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We got good
That's
conversation out of it, even though they didn't necessarily mean us to. They wanted us to yell at them.
See, it's been 3 hours.
Mhm.
Well, 4, if you count the pre-show.
Let's see here.
Time goes.
I'm gonna
Yeah, it does.
open up, see who we're gonna raid today.
Oh.
Let's see here. Let's see. We can go. What do we got? We got games.
I don't know who's on.
Games. Trucker game. Played by a
Trucker
chick.
game.
Yep. Her name is Trucker Chick.
I didn't know they had those games. I've heard fishing and farming and all that stuff.
Then there's music. The blonde chick with the sound. She's on the beach today. Or we got Doctor Who. What do you guys think? Who should we raid?
Who?
Go with Doctor.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain what you mean by raid.
Okay. With
to me.
raid, what it is on Twitch, you take all of your viewers when your stream is done, and it automatically transports them over to this other channel. So they find new things to watch. You help the community, etc., etc. And usually
Awesome.
I go for the low numbers and try to bring it into the smaller areas because that's the better connection and whatnot.
That's how you grow as a community.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
On the other hand, I'm not a big gamer. I'm guessing my audience, though they might game, aren't big gamers. That's why they're watching this show. So I try not to raid gamers every day. And today I'm going to go ahead and do Doctor Who. It's nice, easy. It's the classic ones.
Yeah. And most of our viewers watch that anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. We typed that out. There we go. So that's ready in 3 minutes when we hit that point. You're welcome for the Dino link there, John. And as for it is work. It's amazing. The show is only 3 hours, but I put 5 to 6 hours every day it's on air and 1 to 2 on the days that it's not on air. So I average 30 plus hours a week working on Talk of the Tavern.
Yeah,
Plus he's writing and doing all kinds of everything else.
What are you saying, Daniel?
I was gonna say doing shows. There's so many hours that go into a half hour or 1 hour show, and just the behind the scenes. People think it's pretty easy, but you got to be pretty dedicated.
Yeah.
To do as many shows as you do is a lot of work.
It is. No, it's a labor of love. That's for sure. I do love what I'm doing. But yeah, it's work. And matter of fact, speaking of writing, Andrea just posted a link to Kickstarter, which, by the way, John has supported, and I really appreciate that, John. I know I said it before,
awesome,
but I'll say it again more than once. And that's my next 4 books: 2 kids books, steampunk, and a steampunk book, and then a dystopian near future book. A lot of the.
Have you made a steampunk book for kids?
Not yet. I have one that teens could read, but not young. Not young kids. I guess I would have to get the right artist to do a steampunk children's book.
That'd be interesting. I was just curious.
It would be. I hadn't actually thought of it, because though people put me in the steampunk basket all the time, I am not all steampunk. It was something I enjoyed. I still like writing science fiction in that type of era because of the dichotomy and the reinventing the wheel type thing, where this technology existed and faded due to internal combustion engines or whatever. but
Sure.
we could have had wireless cell phones almost 100 years ago if we had followed the tech that was developing.
Mm-hmm.
It was there. Magnetic roads and trains were under experimentation in the late 1800s, and electric cars existed in the early 1900s. But so yeah, writing that, I enjoy remaking the technology where it's a little clunky but still a little better in some ways.
Good fun stuff.
Okay, let's do an outro here. Closing toast. Gentlemen, thank you for the short notice jumping in and having a good time. And
Richard, so nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man. You too, Daniel. Thanks for having us on, Travis.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, here's some outro music. We'll raid somebody. Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You're the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night. Here we go on our raid to Doctor Who. That is our weekend. We're all working on other.
Can't believe it's 6 o'clock.
Live, huh?
Very good.